The story begins with our Ling Yun, soaring out from within a magical space. He looks at the scene before him with a calm expression, wondering, is this the place? Suddenly, from behind him, a demon clan member appears with a smug smile. He speaks up, ha ha ha, worthy of the immortal emperor, you sensed it so quickly, but still a step too late. At that moment, an external evil clan formation appears beneath the immortal emperor's feet, restraining him. He says, the immortal emperor is truly impatient. To set up this captive emperor formation, we had to plan for hundreds of thousands of years. Hearing this, the immortal emperor's expression remains unfazed as he scoffs in response, captive emperor formation, you say? A mere evil clan dares to challenge my authority. With that, he immediately creates a golden dragon from his spiritual energy, easily breaking the formation. Then, he gestures towards the demon clan member who is still in shock before him, you spent hundreds of thousands of years just to stop me for a moment. Before he dies, the demon clan member reveals a smug smile, stating the truth, of course not. My goal has always been your wife, ha ha ha. At that moment, a voice calls out from behind Ling Yun, husband. He hurriedly turned back, oh no, their target is Tian Shui. At that moment, Tian Shui was surrounded by a group of subordinates from that demon clan and lying in a pool of blood. She struggled to take a weak breath, reaching out her hand towards Ling Yun, crying out, husband, my husband. The immortal emperor immediately teleported to her side, causing those around to step back, reminding each other, everyone be careful, he's coming over, this time we must kill him in the formation. The immortal emperor on this side still ignored the trap he had fallen into and held Tian Shui's body in his arms, calling out loudly, Tian Shui. He then looked up at the people in front of him with eyes full of evil energy, Dao Shen sect, demon origin sect, the main forces of good and evil gathering together, is this the meaning of the great formation of 10,000 immortals? Haha, that's right, if you want to blame someone, blame the immortal emperor for ruling for too long. Just 10,000 years without taking action and it seems you have all forgotten. Let me show you why I am the immortal emperor. After saying that, he immediately broke the formation beneath his feet, soared into the sky, exuding an extremely strong aura around him, shocking those below, wow. Why isn't he restricted by the formation? Run quickly, or you'll die. Is this the power of the immortal emperor? At this moment, Ling Yun began to raise his arm high, generating a stream of true qi in his palm along with bolts of lightning around him. Next, he swung his hand, unleashing a gigantic hand that rushed downwards. Seeing this, they began to feel fear and cried out, no, no, I was wrong, please spare me. We were forced, it has nothing to do with us, I beg you. But at this moment, their pleas were useless as the immortal emperor's attack drew nearer, accompanied by the terrified screams of those around. In the next instant, that hand completely crushed all of them, causing blood to splatter everywhere. Ling Yun, now holding his wife, left with a heavy heart. Once he had flown out into space, he paused and looked at her, calling out once more, Tian Shui, has your soul vanished, no longer here? Upon saying this, he clenched his fist tightly, affirming, no matter if I have to give up everything, no matter if I have to search through countless worlds, I will find you. Tian Shui, wait for me. With that, the immortal emperor let out a loud cry, releasing his soul into the outside world, beginning his journey to find his wife. Some time later, on a cliff on Earth, a group of people was engaged in something shady. A young man sat inside a coffin, his face pale and trembling. What do you want to do? Huh, what do you think? A useless, broke guy like you dares to take a wife. Of course, we're going to bury you alive. Hearing this, he became even more terrified and quickly pleaded, I was wrong, please spare me. But just as the young man finished speaking, he was struck on the head with a shovel, knocking him unconscious on the spot. It's too late, in your next life, remember to fulfill your duties and don't rely on my woman. A while later, Ling Yun's soul appeared and stood beside the young man's grave. He looked at it with some surprise, there are traces of my soul within this person's body. It seems that the fragments of my soul from countless worlds have all fallen here. No wonder this fool is exactly like me. I never expected that after so many years of wandering through the worlds, I still couldn't find Tian Shui. Yet in this world, I accidentally found the remaining soul energy of my manifestation. Fate really plays tricks on people. Thinking this, he entered the body of the young man lying in the coffin. He opened his eyes and woke up. Tian Shui, I have come here. The scene shifted to the inside of a house, where a man pointed at the girl in front of him and shouted loudly, Xiao Shui, that Ling Yun is an idiot. Why do you keep being infatuated with him? The girl with green hair sitting beside her chimed in, Xiao Shui, Chien Hai has been loyal to you for a long time, you know that. Hurry up and dump that guy. After all, I have an engagement with Ling Yun. Today everyone is openly declaring this. Isn't it cutting off his means of survival? For years, everyone knows that the Han family has chosen a useless son-in-law. If not, how would the Chien family agree to let you marry into it? At this point, Xiao Shui stood up, looked at the man in front of her, and continued, Dad, even though Ling Yun is a bit foolish, he has treated me like family all these years. I cannot just watch him perish. I just want what's best for you. Tonight, you must cancel your relationship with Ling Yun in front of everyone. At that moment, a young master along with 3 bodyguards appeared from outside the door and spoke up. No need to think about that useless person anymore. He has disappeared forever. Xiao Shui felt a bit uncomfortable hearing this and frowned, asking back, disappeared forever. Just a fool, making him disappear is enough. Why bother with such trouble? Right, Tian Shui? That's right, just a useless person. Do we really need to bother everyone to come here? Only the marriage of Chien young master and Han lady is worthy enough to invite all of High City to witness. Hearing this, he turned to look at his daughter and continued, if that useless person has disappeared, Xiao Shui, what else can you say now? The girl with green hair then approached Chien young master and added, the Chien family is one of the largest corporations in High City, and Chien young master, being a branch, is much stronger than that useless person, right? What else do you need to think about? Tian Shui, standing in front of them, was completely furious, frowning and saying loudly, you all have done everything to curry favor with the Chien family, even selling me to them. Today, you can't even spare a fool, I will never marry into the Chien family. At the same time, outside the building. Our Ling Yun is carrying a coffin inside, to the astonishment of everyone around. As he stepped inside, Chien young master and his gang recognized him and thought to themselves, that coffin was prepared for that useless guy, could it be? At that moment, Ling Yun slammed the coffin down on the floor amidst the chatter of the bodyguards. It's him, wasn't that useless guy buried alive? Is he really a person or? Tian Shui saw him and felt a bit happy, but quickly said, Ling Yun, what are you doing here? Hurry and leave. Chien young master then began to smile and said, you useless guy, still alive and not knowing how to hide properly, do you want to die again by coming here? Haha, a useless person like you coming here to seek death, even bringing a coffin, how considerate. Ling Yun stood facing him with a calm expression, pointed at him, and replied, this coffin is a gift for you. Upon hearing this, the 2 bodyguards became furious and rushed over together, shouting, you dare. A useless person like you dares to humiliate Chien young master. Die, you dog. But just as both of them rushed in, they immediately received a kick from Ling Yun to the face, crashing to the floor. The 2 following them were no exception, also getting another kick from him. The young master Chien, seeing this, approached and looked at one of the figures lying motionless in front of him, astonished, and hurriedly said, dead already? What is happening here? One of the people standing outside witnessing the scene immediately recognized the technique he had just used, gritting his teeth, he hurriedly said, fading shadow step. How could one of the 9 soul secret arts be used by such a useless person? No way, I must have seen it wrong. How could that useless guy know fading shadow step? I don't believe it. Tian Shui on this side also couldn't help but be surprised, covering her mouth with her hand, is he really Ling Yun? Why does something seem off? Meanwhile, the young master Chien had become frightened, sweating profusely, pointing at Ling Yun and stammering, why you dare to lay a hand on him? Then, he opened the coffin lid, placed 1 foot on it, and continued, the next one is you. Suddenly, at that moment, another person entered from outside, interrupting, fake god, fake ghost. On the inside, he seems timid and scared, but I wonder how many times he has been sneaky already. I can't believe an idiot knows how to use hidden weapons. Hidden weapons, huh? I never expected a fool like you to use hidden weapons to kill so many of my henchmen. At this moment, the man began to warm up his limbs and continued speaking. A useless person like you accomplishing that is probably enough to be proud of for the rest of your life. Those hidden weapons of yours can only be used once, right? Well, now I'm going to show you. Saying this, he immediately rushed quickly from behind Ling Yun. You will regret not dying in the dirt outside the city. At this point, he also realized it, turned his head to glance behind him with a calm expression. Then he gently sidestepped, avoiding the blow in front of the man's astonished face. No way, he can keep up with my speed. Before the man could regain his composure, Ling Yun had tightly grasped his arm and spoke. If you're so eager to die, then let me help you get in line. After saying that, he began to lift the man's entire body high amidst the old man's screams. Let go, let go. If you dare to touch me, no one in High City can protect you. Ignoring his threats, he immediately swung his arm and slammed his body down onto the floor. While the man was still in pain and unable to stand, Ling Yun continued to approach and pointed at his chest. Chien Hai and the green-haired girl nearby quickly intervened, saying, Ling Yun, do you dare to lay a hand on the Chien family? You want to drive the Han family into despair, right? You useless person, don't you dare keep going, the Chien family is not someone you can mess with. Hearing this, he glared at the two of them with an angry expression. What a racket. At that moment, an old man from outside rushed in with a gun in hand and shouted, daring to act like a thug in the Chien family's territory, I'll make sure you die without a place to be buried. Upon saying this, he looked down at the motionless man lying on the floor. Is it Depeng? After checking his pulse briefly, he frowned and realized, the meridians are severed, resulting in death. What a ruthless method. The Chien young master hurried over and said, Dad, you finally made it. The Han family wants to rebel. At this point, he suddenly stopped when he realized the man lying at his feet was dead. The father of the Chien young master then walked past and placed a hand on his shoulder, asserting, blood debts must be paid in blood to that useless person. The people standing around inside the building began to murmur among themselves, saying, the Chien family master has finally arrived. The Han family is unlikely to survive today. The old man had now stepped in front of Chien Hai and continued, Han family master, what do you mean? Hearing this, Chien Hai replied with a flustered expression, Chien family master, please listen to me. In such an awkward situation, the green-haired girl beside him turned to look at Ling Yun with an angry expression, thinking, it's all because of this useless person. Our Han family is likely to face unavoidable disaster now. Chien Hai then quickly turned to look at Ling Yun behind him, shouting loudly, useless person, why aren't you kneeling down and admitting your mistake? Do you want our Han family to die without a place to be buried? The green-haired girl beside him immediately chimed in, normally, just waiting for death is one thing, but now you dare to bring disaster to the Han family. Kneel down at once. Kneel down. You should quickly tell them to kneel down, maybe I will still consider whether to spare them or not. Chien Hai was taken aback, his mouth agape as he turned to look at him. What are you saying? Do you want to destroy the Han family? Do you even know what you're saying? If you want to die, do it alone, don't drag the Han family down with you. The young master Chien across from him sneered and asked, are you saying that if we don't kneel and apologize to you, you will destroy the entire Chien family? Exactly. The townspeople surrounding them showed clear disdain and began to murmur among themselves. Did I hear that right? The son-in-law of the Han family can actually say such arrogant words. He's just a foolish son-in-law, probably just spouting nonsense. Right? Tian Shui, standing beside him, was also worried about his fate, silently thinking, Ling Yun. The old master of the Chien family began to speak. The Chien family has held a position in High City for many years, no one has ever dared to challenge the Chien family. Even if you're a fool like you, I won't let you off. Alright, alright, alright. Today, even with the Han family here, they can't save you. Chien Hai stood on this side and turned to look at Ling Yun once more, shouting loudly, this useless person, do you want to play to the end today? At this moment, the green-haired girl had run over, grabbed Chien young master's arm, and continued, Chien young master, our Han family originally wanted to kick him out today. What this useless person did today has nothing to do with our Han family at all. Saying this, she glanced at Ling Yun behind her, thinking to herself, damn it, the Han family must completely sever ties with him. Old Master Chien then let out a heavy sigh and ordered, even if the Han family is offered money, they wouldn't dare. Where are the people? Tian Shui, standing next to Ling Yun, quickly turned and said, what happened today was my invitation, so it has nothing to do with you. You should leave quickly. Hearing this, her father turned pale and shouted loudly, Xiao Shui, are you crazy? Everything this useless person did today was self-destructive, hurry up and cut ties with him. Xiao Shui, at this point, why are you still talking nonsense? Hurry up and go apologize to the Chien family. Suddenly, at this moment, Ling Yun took Tian Shui's hand tightly, raised it, and gently looked at her, saying, Tian Shui, all these years you have endured many criticisms and protected me. From today on, I will not let you suffer anything anymore. From now on, it will be my turn to protect you. Hearing this, she blushed shyly and replied, Ling Yun, you have changed. The Chien young master, witnessing this romantic scene, clapped his hands and said, what a sweet drama. You killed my brother, and I still want to bury you and the Han family alive at the same time. Are you still trying to act like a hero now? Saying this, he turned his head away, spat on the ground to intimidate Ling Yun, as long as you cut off your limbs, crawl to my feet, lick my shoes to apologize, and then offer your precious wife to plead for forgiveness, I will consider whether to spare the Han family or not. Ling Yun stood before him with a dark expression, replying, it's too late. Too late. It's not too late, I can give you time to think and cut off your limbs. Before he could finish his sentence, Ling Yun's powerful voice interrupted, the opportunity to kneel and apologize that I offer you. Old Master Chien, standing nearby, wasted no time and immediately ordered his subordinates to charge forward. If you insist on this, then let me show you why no one in High City dares to mess with my Chien family. Letting you die like this is too merciful. This is the price to pay for offending the Chien family. Just as he finished speaking, a barrage of bullets was fired from heavy rifles towards Ling Yun. But immediately afterward, he vanished into the smoke, much to their astonishment. He then reappeared from behind with the same calm expression as before, saying, I already told you, what is the Chien family in front of me? You insolent brat, what are you all standing there for? Charge at him. Be quiet, they can't hear your orders. Upon hearing this, he broke into a cold sweat and glanced back, only to find that all of them had collapsed to the ground. Dead, dead, they're all dead. What happened? I only saw Ling Yun step forward, and the group of people had. The two Chien young master and the green-haired girl standing on this side were also astonished, stammering, is it a ghost, a ghost? Ling Yun then stepped in front of both of them, looking at the green-haired girl, and said, you get out of here now. The Chien young master, seeing him approach, was scared and stepped back, saying loudly, you can't come over here. Ling young master, I didn't kill you, it was all his doing. It was my father's idea, he said he wanted to teach the Han family a lesson. The old man standing on this side immediately turned pale upon hearing this, looked at his son, and shouted, you bastard, what are you talking about? Ling young master, talented young man, I was blind and offended Ling young master. At this point, the old man started to reach behind him to get something, thinking to himself, this brat is hard to deal with, it seems I have to take action myself. Ling Yun stood in front of him, at this moment pointing at the coffin behind him, ordering, get in there. Ling young master, if you have any demands, just say it, we only ask you to spare our lives. And there's also the name of this housebreaker, aren't you going to bow your head and admit your mistake to Ling Yun, young master? Upon hearing this, he immediately turned angry and replied, I said it's too late. The old Chien family master, who had been bowing his head below, suddenly broke into a sinister smile, muttering, whether you are a human or a ghost. Having said this, he quickly brandished his concealed knife forward and lunged at him, shouting, die, cloud-piercing spear. If you can see my ultimate technique, the cloud-piercing spear, before you die, then your life wouldn't be in vain. But just as the blade swung towards him, it was blocked by the shield in front of Ling Yun. Seeing this, the old man was genuinely frightened and stumbled back, stuttering, impossible, you. Having said this, the old Chien family master charged forward once more, I don't believe you can withstand this blow again. As soon as he finished speaking, he received a fatal strike from Ling Yun to the heart, causing him to freeze in place. A moment later, he collapsed and died on the spot as his heart stopped beating. The young master Chien, witnessing this scene, immediately became terrified, repeatedly bowing his head before Ling Yun and pleading, "So, young master, please spare me, I beg you." He stood on this side and turned to look at him, emanating a powerful aura. He continued, "In the next life, remember to keep your duties, don't get too close to someone else's girl." At this moment, the young master Chien had also taken that blow, his eyes wide open, spitting blood, feeling like he was going to sell salt with his father. Everyone present witnessed the whole event and turned to whisper among themselves, "Is he dead?" The master of the Chien family personally took action and still died. Could this Ling Yun be the legendary warrior of the dragon ranking? These two cities are about to change. Ling Yun was walking past a person lying motionless on the floor and said, "Get up, I'll spare you. One life doesn't mean you have to pretend to be dead here." He then stopped pretending and sat up, bowing his head before him, replying, Ling young master, what do you command?" "Collect their bodies for me." Tian Shui was watching Ling Yun approach with a bewildered expression, silently thinking, is this still the Ling Yun I know? After so many years of marriage, this is the first time I've seen him like this. "Ling Yun, why have you suddenly changed so much?" Hearing this, he reached out to caress her chin, smiling in response. "I still have to thank young Master Chien for waking me up with a shovel. Let's go, we'll talk at home." At this moment, Tian Shui felt a bit embarrassed, turned her face away, and said softly, "Brother, our relationship isn't that close. I've remembered now, we have a legal marriage." "Well, that's just in name only." Once they had left, the atmosphere inside the building became lively again, accompanied by praises. The Han family master really hides his depth. That's right, in the future, the top families of High City must have a place for the Han family. To bless the Han family master, I propose a toast. Chien Hai, hearing these words, responded cheerfully and politely, clasping his hands together, too flattering, too flattering. Only the green-haired girl standing aside, stroking her chin while watching the backs of Ling Yun and Tian Shui, thought to herself, how annoying, clearly that useless person was just waiting to die, how did he become so strong? A moment later, at Han Tian Shui's villa, she stepped out of the room and was surprised to see the table full of delicious dishes, quickly saying, "Ling Yun, did you make all of this?" "That's right, you made all the dishes I like, let me try them out." Hearing that, she took a bite and was surprised by how delicious it was. "I didn't expect you, Ling Yun, to know how to cook, and so well too. Haha, do you like it? If you do, I'll make it for you every day." "Well, I've taken care of you, you idiot, for so many years, so of course you have to make it up to me well." While they were happily chatting, Tian Shui's phone on the table suddenly rang. As soon as she answered, her expression changed immediately, and she hurriedly said, "What? Is something wrong with Grandpa?" Ling Yun, sitting across from her, noticed her change and asked, "Tian Shui, what's wrong?" "Something happened to Grandpa, I have to go check on him." But then Ling Yun grabbed her hand and called out, "Wait, I'll go with you. With me here, Grandpa will be fine. Okay, maybe I can even help the doctor. Let's go." After a while, they arrived outside Han Zhongji's villa. Tian Shui looked at the guy standing at the gate and quickly asked, "Lin Wei, how is Grandpa?" "The doctor said he only has a little time left. I can't hold on any longer, you should go inside." But when it was Ling Yun's turn, that guy stopped him. "Hey, what time is it? You can't bring pets into Grandpa's hospital room." "What are you talking about? He's my brother-in-law." "It's okay, Tian Shui, just go inside quickly, I'll be in shortly." Hearing this, she reluctantly turned around and went inside with a worried expression. "Then I'll go in first, Ling Yun, hurry up." Once she was gone, Lin Wei spoke up again. "It's not that I'm not letting you in, I'm just afraid that a fool like you will go in and go crazy. I advise you to step aside, don't delay my grandpa's condition." "Oh, so according to you, I should let you in so that Grandpa can get better?" "That's right, let me in and maybe I can save Grandpa." Hearing this, Lin Wei immediately turned to whisper to the guys nearby. "Did I hear that right? This fool is saying he knows medicine. Ha ha ha, you really can't judge a book by its cover." Saying this, he placed a hand on Ling Yun's shoulder and replied, "It's not that I can't let you in, dot. Hey, lick the ground clean, let me see if the dog that Han family raised listens to commands or not." "Ha ha ha, Lin Wei, when did you start learning dog training?" You're killing me with laughter. Still the same Lin Wei with his jokes. He then took the opportunity to continue speaking, if you listen to me, I'll let you in. Then you can show off your extraordinary medical skills, how about that? I really want to see a foolish brother-in-law like you practicing medicine. Hearing those words, Ling Yun smiled and replied calmly, if you want to see it that much. At this point, he swung his hand to grab Lin Wei's wrist, making him a bit scared. What do you want to do? Let go of me quickly. He then felt Ling Yun twist his wrist, painfully thinking, what's happening? I can't resist at all. Just as Lin Wei finished thinking, he was immediately forced face down onto the ground where he had pointed earlier. Ling Yun then looked up at the other three with an angry expression, can I go in this time? You dare to lay hands on him? Let him go right now. Not going to move aside. Do you want to witness my medical skills? Oh no, that's not necessary. Ling Young Master should quickly go inside to treat Master. That's right. We have great faith in Ling Young Master's medical skills. Once he left, they dared to whisper among themselves, isn't that the fool Ling Yun? Since when did he become so impressive? It seems the rumors are true. I heard he got into a fight at the hotel a few days ago. Not long after, Ling Yun opened the door to the inside, surprising everyone. Didn't I say? When my master is treating patients, no one should disturb him, so why are there more people coming? The master of the girl on this side didn't care much about that and replied, it's fine, let them watch from afar, as long as they don't disturb me, it's okay. Then you guys are lucky. Being able to see my master at work is a chance to broaden your horizons. Ling Yun looked at the bowl of medicine the old man was preparing and immediately responded, broaden horizons, huh? I just know that if the patient drinks this medicine, they will take their last breath. What did you just say? Do you dare to doubt my master's medical skills? My master is worldly knowledge C. If it weren't for him, the patient would have died long ago. The patient was extremely weak. Master Worldly Knowledge C administered a very strong dose of medicine. With the two sides in conflict, the patient couldn't handle it and quickly passed away. Hearing you say that, it seems you really understand medicine, huh? Wait, did Lady Han call you Ling Yun? You're the useless son-in-law of the Han family, right? I thought you were someone important, but it turns out you're just a useless person daring to come here and spout nonsense while pointing fingers at others. Aren't you afraid of boasting yourself into a corner? Ling Yun stood before her, maintaining his composure, and replied, whether I speak arrogantly or not will soon be known. You fool, do you really want to do this? Letting you practice medicine recklessly could lead to someone's death. If word gets out, who would dare to seek my master for treatment? Treatment? If this continues, your master will use the wrong medicine, leading to the patient's death. Can you all take responsibility for that? The old man mixing the medicine nearby, unable to concentrate, turned to look at both of them and said, what are you two arguing about? Can't you see I'm trying to save a life? Master, he says you used the wrong medicine. I know him. The son-in-law of the Han family, a foolish son-in-law like him dares to doubt my medical skills. Right. Han lady, is this how the Han family treats their guests? Tian Shui, standing behind, also turned to look at Ling Yun with a worried expression and asked, Ling Yun, can you really cure my grandfather? After hearing his affirmation, she turned to look at the old man and replied, Dr. Ling Yun says he knows medicine, let him take a look. Han lady, no need to say more, the Han old master cannot be saved anymore. Don't you want him to leave quietly instead of letting this fool torture him further? Ling Yun then continued with a calm expression on his face, for a quack, it is indeed irretrievable. That's enough. Useless person, you have insulted my master repeatedly. Do you know how many people have begged my master to come to treat them? Do you realize that saying such words will cause trouble for the Han family? Suddenly, at that moment, Tian Shui's grandfather, lying on the bed, weakly called her name. Hearing that, Tian Shui immediately ran to her grandfather's hospital bed, crying uncontrollably and replied, this is my grandpa. The old doctor standing nearby sighed and said, the light is flickering. The Han old master is about to pass away. Ling Yun had also walked past the old man from behind and responded, about to pass away. The quack in your family is the one who's really about to go. The Han old master is in this condition, do you really want to torment him as well? The Han family has a truly filial son-in-law here. The Han old master has roamed the world all his life, only to be killed by an idiot. Even in the underworld, he won't be able to rest in peace. At this moment, Ling Yun said nothing and began to extend his arm, which was enveloped in a stream of true qi, to the astonishment of the old doctor. From his palm, needles appeared, glowing alongside the true qi. The old doctor, witnessing this scene, widened his eyes in shock, thinking, this is impossible, how could an idiot know this? Ghost Gate 13 needles. Yes, this must be Ghost Gate 13 needles. The woman standing beside him still had no idea what was happening, covering her mouth and speaking softly. Just now, seeing his quick-witted demeanor, I thought he was just pretending to be foolish. I had no idea he was truly that dumb. Surely this idiot doesn't think he can save someone just with those needles, right? Ling Yun stood in front of the two of them, highly focused, holding a needle in his hand, and loudly said the words, ignorance. Hearing that, she couldn't help but smirk disdainfully at him. Haha, master, look at that guy over there. The man beside her ignored her words, still sweating profusely, thinking to himself, I can't believe the legendary Ghost Gate 13 needles is being used by an idiot. But while he was lost in thought, he was jolted awake by the woman beside him and quickly turned to reply, what did you say? Master, you should look at that fool over there, trying to save someone just with a few needles. He's truly a useless person with delusional thoughts. As soon as she finished speaking, she received a slap from her master across the face, who shouted, I think you are the useless person here. Do you even know what he's using? That's an ancient, lost medical technique that hasn't been seen for 1,000 years. Ghost Gate 13 needles can bring the dead back to life with flesh and bone. She was covering her face, and upon hearing that, she became astonished and exclaimed, ancient secret technique? How is that possible? It seems the rumors are true. Yesterday, the Chien family master caused trouble with the Han family in the hotel and was silenced. Even the Chien family didn't dare to retaliate. I heard it was a strong dragon ranking at work, it must be the son-in-law of the Han family. So, this foolish Ling Yun is an expert from the hidden Han family? Then we just mocked him like that. We need to quickly apologize to young Master Ling, offending a strong dragon ranking is something we can't bear. At the same time, Tian Shue's grandfather had also woken up and called out, Xiao Shui, I. Seeing this, she was overjoyed and tightly grasped her grandfather's arm, pressing it against her face. Great, finally, Grandpa has woken up. The two teachers and students from earlier also clasped their hands together and bowed their heads before Ling Yun, loudly saying, just now, I was blind and did not see the great mountain, offending young Master Ling, please forgive this old man. Young Master Ling, I was blind, you are magnanimous. Not allowing them to finish, he interrupted and said, right now, I don't have time to pay attention to you all. Upon saying this, he directed the needles outward towards the main door, we have esteemed guests arriving. At the same time, the assassins stationed outside began firing a barrage of bullets inside. Having prepared in advance, Ling Yun quickly launched the needles to intercept all the incoming bullets. The old doctor, lying on the floor with his head in his hands, was astonished at the sight and exclaimed, bullets, all stopped by acupuncture needles. The Ghost Gate 13 needles have this kind of effect. Tian Shui, frightened from behind, shouted out, who is it? How dare they raid the Han family in broad daylight? Ling Yun, standing in front of her, realized and quickly replied, it must be the Chien family seeking revenge. He then turned to everyone and instructed, everyone stay inside and don't go out, I'll go greet our guests. Hearing this, Tian Shui worriedly called out, from the sound of the gunfire just now, there are likely many enemies. Ling Yun, you left so many needles. Before she could finish her sentence, Ling Yun interrupted to reassure her, don't worry, 3 needles are enough to deal with them. At the same time, outside the door, one of the assassins, a bit curious, turned to look at the man next to him and asked, Boss, do we really need to mobilize so many troops to deal with that useless person? What do you understand? According to the Chien family's information, they say that idiot is the hidden strong dragon ranking of the Han family. Strong dragon ranking. I see the Chien family is so scared they've gone dumb. I've been around High City for so many years and haven't heard of any strong dragon ranking that fits that idiot from the Han family. That's right, even if that idiot is really an expert of the dragon ranking, then our recent firepower attack probably just left him as a pile of expert fragments, right? Exactly, no matter how high the skill, it's likely to be smashed to pieces. Even an expert of the dragon ranking can't stop bullets, right? Ha ha ha. I heard the boss even invited a dragon ranking assassin to deal with that idiot. Is it true, boss? Don't waste time here, hurry up and confirm the corpse. Hearing this, he had no choice but to comply, but he murmured unwillingly in his heart. TCH, can't even talk freely. But as soon as he saw Ling Yun confidently stepping out from the main door, he was truly astonished, his mouth agape. He is still not dead. Ling Yun stood opposite with 3 needles in hand, looking at the crowd in front of him with a pair of blood-red eyes full of evil energy. The boss of the group, seeing this, immediately waved his hand to command with a fearful expression, is he not hurt? Quickly, keep shooting. All the subordinates, upon hearing this, unleashed a barrage of bullets towards Ling Yun. He stood before them without a hint of fear, wearing a smug smile, and threw the 3 needles forward. The 3 needles shot out like lightning, striking the weapons from their hands, leaving everyone gaping in astonishment. What is this? I only saw a flash of light, what on earth did he do? Ling Yun then retrieved his 3 needles and spoke, you are uninvited guests. I don't like that very much. If you don't tell me who hired you, then you will all die. The leader, after clearly seeing that they were 3 needles, was even more astonished. That kid is an expert in hidden weapons, quickly close the distance, don't give him a chance to use his hidden weapons. Hearing this, the subordinates drew out a knife, held it in their hands, and charged once again. What I hate the most are those useless people like you who use hidden weapons. Besides using hidden weapons to sneak attack, you can't do anything else. Kill him for me. But just as he took a few steps, 2 beams of light from Ling Yun's side shot through and pierced their knees. He shot a sharp glare at all of them, frowning as he commanded, do you dare to be disrespectful? Kneel down for me. As soon as he finished speaking, all of them, under Ling Yun's powerful voice, collapsed to their knees, screaming in pain. The leader was no exception, sweating profusely, fearfully stammering, who are you? There's no strong person using hidden weapons like you in the dragon ranking. Who am I? Don't you all know very well? Tell me, who sent you here? At that moment, a hand appeared on the leader's shoulder, along with a voice, you useless guys came here, not even able to take down a single useless person, and you want me to take action myself. You even let a useless person make you kneel. You've completely trampled on the boss's face. Brother Chien, you finally arrived. Brother Chien, that guy's hidden weapon belongs to an evil sect. You must be an expert in dragon ranking, my brothers can't compete with you. Hidden weapon, huh? In our dragon ranking, there are no useless people using evil sect's dark energy. As he spoke, he walked in front of a guy lying at his feet. Useless person, get out of here quickly. With that, he kicked straight into the guy's face, causing him to spit blood and lose a front tooth that flew far away. After that, he approached Ling Yun and questioned him, kid, are you the useless person using hidden weapons from the Han family? Then let me show you how a useless person is different from a strong dragon ranking. Oh, so you are the boss of those people? If you tell me who hired you to come here, I might spare your life. Spare my life? Ha ha ha, ever since I, Chien, made it onto the dragon ranking, no one has dared to speak to me like that for years. Ling Yun, seeing him charge at him, showed no fear and solemnly replied, I've given you a chance. If that's the case. At this point, he suddenly vanished, leaving Chien astonished. What just happened? He then looked down at his empty hand, shocked once again. Where is my sword? Looking back, Ling Yun stood behind him, pressing the sword against his neck, uttering 2 words, die. As soon as he finished speaking, his sword sliced through the man's head with a smooth motion, without any unnecessary movements. He then glanced at the 2 men sneaking away in the distance and threw a needle at them. Trying to run away. Immediately, the leader was hit in the leg, falling face down on the ground, crying out in pain. From behind, Ling Yun's voice continued to resonate, tell me, who sent you? I don't know the boss behind this. You can kill me. Hearing that, Ling Yun didn't rush, he snapped his fingers and smiled in response, kill you? That's not enough. The leader was instantly struck by something entering his body, causing him to writhe in fear and cry out, "What kind of demon magic is this? Why does it feel like there are so many ants crawling on me? Hurry and kill me. I will tell you that Jiang Nan King sent us to kill you, spare me." Haha, if you had spoken up sooner, wouldn't you have avoided suffering? Ling Young Master is always right, I have said everything I needed to say. So I won't bother Ling Young Master anymore. But just as he stood up, Ling Yun called him back, causing sweat to pour down. "The trash you brought, do you need me to remind you to take it with you when you leave?" Yes, Ling Young Master, I will take it right away." A moment later, Tian Shui inside saw him return and exclaimed happily, "Ling Yun, are you okay?" The girl standing next to her chimed in to help Ling Yun, who is Ling Young Master. How could anything happen? Han Lady is overthinking it. He then moved closer to Tian Shui, who was blushing, and smiled as he continued, hearing them say that, "You must have been very worried about me just now, right? Who knows what the situation outside is like?" At that moment, both the doctor and his student stepped outside and joined the conversation. "Ahem, Ling Young Master, if the danger has been resolved and Han Old Master has recovered, then we won't stay any longer. We take our leave." Tian Shui stood in front of Ling Yun with a curious expression and asked, "By the way, Ling Yun, who exactly sent those people?" "It was Jiang Nan King." "Jiang Nan King? Why would he target our Han family?" "His purpose is not the Han family, but you." "That's right, it is said that the Jiang Nan King and the Chien family have been close for generations, probably because of what happened that night. The Jiang Nan King is a tyrant of High City, having dominated High City for many years, not something the Chien family can compare to. Unexpectedly, he has targeted you. Don't worry, to take your life, he is still not qualified enough." After a while, a loud voice echoed from inside a certain house, "What did you say?" "Chen Mo was killed by that guy with just one move." Hearing his subordinate affirming like that, he didn't ask anything further, replying, "All right, I got it, you can go." To be able to kill Chen Mo, that useless person must be considered an expert in the dragon ranking. The Han family is really hiding deep. If that's the case, I can only team up with someone close to the Han family. As he thought, he glanced at a girl tightly bound and lying on the ground. The scene shifted to a martial arts school where a training session was taking place. "Have you heard? The Han Old Master's critical illness has been cured by a mysterious doctor. Han Old Master has taken his last breath, yet can he still be cured? I heard that on that day, Han Old Master's house was ambushed." As the guy finished speaking, a hand suddenly appeared from behind and slapped him on the head, shouting loudly, "If you don't practice diligently, what are you all standing there chatting about? Haha, Su's senior brother, why are you attending class today? Where's Chen's senior brother?" Hearing this, Su's senior brother's expression changed dramatically, and he paused for a moment. Then he quickly regained his composure and said loudly, "He has something to deal with today, I'm taking the class. Do you have any objections?" No, it's truly an honor for us that Su's senior brother is personally here to teach us." While everyone was talking, at that moment, someone was thrown in from outside along with the door. Su's senior brother was taken aback and quickly asked, "Xiao Li, what happened? Who threw you out like this?" "It was Han." Before the guy could finish his sentence, Ling Yun rushed in from outside, stepping heavily on him, and said, "I give you 3 minutes to bring Jiang Nan King out here, otherwise, this martial arts school will disappear from High City." "Shut up, Dot. My master is not someone you want to meet. That arrogant kid not only injured Xiao Li but also dared to threaten to destroy our Jiang Nan martial arts school. Daring to cause trouble at Jiang Nan martial arts school is truly asking for trouble. I remember now. He's the son-in-law of the Han family. I can't believe this time you pretended not to know and dared to come here. My master is not someone from the Han family that you can provoke. Is he really that infamous foolish son-in-law? This is not the Han family's place, tell him to get out. That fool pretends not to know and doesn't even look at where he is. Does Jiang Nan King allow idiots like you to provoke him? I already said he's a fool, what does he understand? Just deal with him and send him out to cause trouble again." Ling Yun, standing here, ignored those words and smiled, continuing, "You have 2 minutes left. Hearing this, more than half of the people in the arena rushed forward, shouting loudly, "If that useless person is in such a hurry to die, then let me oblige him." Ling Yun remained unfazed, raising his leg high and then stomping down on the wooden plank, shattering it into pieces that flew forward. Each piece of wood flew straight into the faces of the approaching men, preventing them from dodging and hitting them squarely. Those men who took the full brunt of the attack fell sprawled on the ground, as Ling Yun's voice echoed, "You still have 1 minute." The remaining men, witnessing the scene, were left agape in astonishment, exclaiming, "How can he dare to use his feet to take down so many people? Isn't this useless person supposed to be an idiot? How can he be so strong? What are you afraid of? Su's senior brother is a strong dragon ranking, after all." "Exactly, that useless person may be strong, but can he really take on someone from the strong dragon ranking? Su's senior brother, just kill him already, cut off his limbs. He dared to come to Jiangnan martial arts school to kill people, I need to teach him a good lesson." He stood before them, his expression turning serious as he spoke. "Useless person, instead of staying with the Han family and eating your dog food, you come here looking for death. Let me accommodate you." With that, he immediately charged forward, raising his fist wrapped in true chi, and launched an iceberg fist directly at Ling Yun in front of him, creating a massive shockwave. The students standing behind were astonished and started discussing among themselves. "I didn't expect Su's senior brother to use such a technique to deal with a useless person. Su's senior brother has used this technique to defeat other strong dragon rankings. That foolish person dying from this technique would also be considered an honor." Another student nearby suddenly realized something and pointed forward, adding, No, that's not right. Look. Su, on this side, had his iceberg fist blocked by Ling Yun with one hand, and he was wide-eyed in disbelief, thinking, "It's impossible for this useless person to easily block my iceberg fist." While he was still in shock, Ling Yun tightened his grip on his wrist and said, "Time's up." Upon hearing this, Su's face turned pale with fear as he pleaded, "No, please spare me, I'll take you with me." Without letting him finish, Ling Yun gently crushed his arm and replied, "It's too late." After saying that, he released his hand, letting Su fall heavily to the ground, lying still and motionless. The students witnessing this immediately changed their expressions, stammering, Su's senior brother is dead. One move is unbearable." At this moment, the other men had also knelt down, pleading to save their own lives. Ling young master, spare my life. I will take Ling young master to find Jiangnan King. I have long been fed up with Jiangnan King and his direct disciples. If Ling young master kills him, that would be great. At the same time, behind the computer screen, Jiangnan King was observing everything, looking at his disciple and commanding. That guy is indeed not an ordinary strong dragon ranking. Zhang Qin, you go take a trip. Yes, master. Back with Ling Yun, he was solemnly responding to the men kneeling before him. If you all hate Jiangnan King this much. As he said this, suddenly the body of the disciple in front of him could not breathe, clutching his chest. Then you can wait for him below. What do you want to do? What kind of demon magic is this? At the same time, Zhang Qin also appeared from behind Ling Yun, raising his arm high. That's enough, withdraw your hand. Saying this, he immediately swung his hand to throw a needle, but it was easily caught by Ling Yun. You can easily kill Chen Imo and Su Lin. Strength is also considered a high rank in the dragon ranking. But you are a bit too arrogant. The students who saw him immediately became excited and shouted, It's the Grand Senior Brother, the Grand Senior Brother is back, we are saved. How dare Ling Yun kill Senior Brother Chen? The Grand Senior Brother is in the strong dragon ranking, only second to the Master. I think this useless person is exaggerating too much, Ling Yun, standing on this side, said while looking at Zhang Qin with a serious expression. Are you their Grand Senior Brother? Where is Jiangnan King? You still want to meet my master? You've been pretending to be crazy at the Han family for many years, have you really lost your mind and want to seek death? It seems like you really know where Jiangnan King is. Then I will give you 3 minutes to take me to meet him. Haha, 3 minutes. With my Trung Yen Ko Cham, you would be dead in less than 2 minutes. You're young and have such ability, but in front of the strong, you still don't know how to back down, you'll end up committing suicide. That useless person still wants to find the master. In 3 minutes, your life is also counting down. I'll give you 3 minutes to kneel and beg for mercy. Perhaps the Grand Senior Brother will let you die a little more gently. If you dare to tease my master, you'll die immediately. But it's a pity to lose such talent. I can offer you a way to live. You are the hidden expert of the Han family, so you must have enough say, right? 1. Surrender all the assets of the Han family. 2. Submit to my master, Jiangnan King. And 3. I've heard your wife, Han Tian Shui, is quite beautiful. Ling Yun stood before him, his expression darkening as he heard those words. He spoke, I've given you a choice. A choice? What I'm offering you is not a choice. If you can't do any of these, both you and the Han family will die immediately. At this moment, Ling Yun's face turned extremely angry, his eyes glowing red, filled with evil energy, as he continued, why do you choose the path of death? As soon as he finished speaking, a powerful surge of spiritual energy erupted from his body, enveloping the entire martial arts hall. Zhang Qin, witnessing this, began to look fearful, stammering, what's happening? Why can't I move? At the same time, Ling Yun approached him and demanded, where is Jiangnan King? He was hypnotized by him, with a blank, unconscious expression, answering his question, in the secret chamber of the martial arts school. After hearing this, Ling Yun continued to command all those present, everyone, commit suicide. Immediately, no one could resist his order, they all strangled themselves until they suffocated and died. The Jiangnan King sitting nearby witnessed this scene, unable to help but gasp in astonishment, impossible, can that guy's power reach such a level? Unless he is not just a strong dragon ranking, but something legendary. Damn. His strength, even if he took this woman hostage, he could still safely rescue her and then kill himself immediately. As long as he can escape, he can settle the score with that guy later. At this moment, Ling Yun opened the door from outside, entering with a face full of evil energy. But when he looked inside, he found that the Jiangnan King was no longer there, a bit surprised, he managed to escape. Thinking of this, his gaze suddenly fell on the girl tied up in a corner, puzzled, huh? Who is this? Not thinking much, he approached to untie the girl. But after removing the tape that had been placed over her mouth, the girl revealed a look of fear on her face. She spoke up, are you Ling Yun? As she spoke, she stepped back. Ling Yun, I can't believe it's you, you're a beast. Hearing this, Ling Yun, a bit confused, asked back, do you know me? I think you might be misunderstanding something. But in the girl's eyes, he still looked like a pervert with a sinister expression, making her even more frightened. She continued, I can't believe you've been disguising yourself next to Tian Shui all these years. I'm a good friend of Tian Shui, and yet you laid your hands on me. A good friend of Tian Shui. It seems Jiangnan King wants to use this girl to get a hold of the Han family. You think too much, don't you? Tian Shui must really be blind to end up with a beast like you. Just as the girl was about to say more, Ling Yun injected a stream of energy into her body, causing her to gradually faint. First, I just need to calm her down, then take her back so Tian Shui can explain things to her. When the girl opened her eyes and woke up once again, she found herself lying in a room. She immediately sat up, rubbing her head in confusion, where is this? Tian Shui, seeing this, immediately rushed over to hug her friend and exclaimed joyfully, Yan Yan, you're awake. Oh, Tian Shui, I thought I would never see you again. Oh no, you scared me. While feeling emotional, Yan Yan suddenly froze and became angry, shouting, wait a minute, Ling Yun is really something. He dares to show up in front of me. Tian Shui, this is the beast who kidnapped me and wanted to cause chaos with me. Hearing this, Tian Shui quickly placed her hand on her shoulder and replied, no, Yan Yan, you've misunderstood Ling Yun. Here's what happened. After hearing the whole story, Yan Yan calmed down and continued, so that's how it is. Ling Yun saved me, right? I misunderstood you, I'm sorry. You can't blame her, she was very scared at that time. I've already made arrangements. First, just stay here and recuperate for a few days. Hearing this, Tian Shui smiled happily and turned to her friend, that's great, Yan Yan. It's been so many years since we last met. Let me tell you something. While the two were happily chatting, Ling Yun stood by, also feeling joyful, thinking to himself. Tian Shui has been under a lot of pressure before, it's been a long time since she has shown this side of herself. Just then, from outside, the company's assistant opened the door and walked in with a serious expression and hurriedly said. Lady Han, the company is facing a major crisis. They need you there immediately. Upon hearing this, Tian Shui's expression turned to shock. She looked up at Ling Yun. A major crisis? Let's go. I'll go with you, he replied. A short while later, their car arrived in front of the company building. Sitting inside the vehicle, Tian Shui glanced out the window with a confused and surprised look. Why are there so many reporters? It's related to the announcement of Han Group's new drug. Han President will explain the details to you later. We can't enter through the main entrance right now, we'll have to use the side gate, the assistant said. Meanwhile, inside Chien Hai's office, he was pacing back and forth anxiously. Not long after, Tian Shui and the others hurried in. Dad, what on earth is happening? Tian Shui, you're finally here. Father, what's with all those reporters outside? They're all here because of our company's new drug, the youth-preserving pill. The announcement day is approaching, but the crucial core materials have been monopolized and refused for sale, making production impossible. How can the materials be monopolized and refused for sale? Han Group in High City is not a small company. Do they want to offend the Han family? The green-haired girl interjected at this point. Offend? They only wish for the Han family to perish. The youth-preserving pill took a lot of effort for the company to develop, and once successful, it will significantly increase the company's stock price. It wouldn't be impossible to rise to the top of High City. Therefore, my good brother-in-law, having offended the Chien family, has caused the key materials for the youth-preserving pill to be monopolized and has cut off cooperation with the Han family. Now the stock price of Han Group is plummeting, and the reporters outside the company are all there to mock the Han family. Is it because of the Chien family? Everyone wanted me to marry into the Chien family for that reason, right? Chien Hai, standing opposite her, could only shake his head and continue. Given the situation, we have no choice but to announce the cancellation of the youth-preserving pill. We must strive to develop new drugs as soon as possible to save the stock price. At the same time, Ling Yun on this side was holding a piece of paper in his hand, looking at it, and said, no need to cancel it. Chien Hai, upon hearing this, turned around to look at him with a surprised expression. What are you saying? Do you have a way? Ling Yun then raised the paper in his hand and continued, this is the method for researching and producing the youth-preserving pill, right? I have a solution to the material problem. The green-haired girl smiled in response, I admit your skills are not bad, and I've heard that you can cure your grandfather, your medical skills are also extraordinary. But open your eyes and see what materials are listed here, how can you make such reckless statements? Tian Shui, who was beside her, also spoke up, Ling Yun, you probably don't know, the materials listed above are not just within the realm of medicinal herbs, but also. Not letting her finish, Ling Yun interjected with a determined look, I've looked over the formulation already. I can understand, there's no need to cancel the youth-preserving pill announcement. Tian Shui then asked back with a worried expression, Ling Yun, can you really do it? Seeing him affirm like that. Tian Shui did not hesitate to turn to Chien Hai and continued, I have taken Ling Yun hostage. Dad, inform the reporters outside. Inform them of what? Who knows what disaster the Han family might face after a few good days? Do people really believe that useless person? Ling Yun is the one who saved Grandpa's life. Why would you say such things? It's because that useless person insists on doing things his own way, which has caused the Han family and the Chien family to sever ties, resulting in serious damage. Clearly, he wants to humiliate the Han family. This is the basis for destroying the Han family. Chien Hai, standing beside her, began to add, Xiao Shui, it's not that Dad doesn't trust Ling Yun. Recently, Ling Yun's abilities have indeed been extraordinary, but even if Ling Yun is capable, he still needs materials to make the medicine. Hearing this, Tian Shui became completely furious and shouted, Dad, everyone. Ling Yun, standing beside her, calmly raised a finger and said, if that's the case, let's make a bet. How about it? The green-haired girl facing him looked a bit curious and asked, bet on what? The announcement day for the youth-preserving pill will proceed as planned. If by then I cannot retrieve the youth-preserving pill, I will personally go before the Chien family to pay for my sins. I guarantee that the Chien family will restore cooperation with the Han family. Thus, even if a useless person like you causes the Han family to lose face, my Han family can still restore cooperation with the Chien family. Hurry up and develop the pill to compensate for the losses. I didn't expect that a useless person like you would have such awareness. And if I manage to create the youth-preserving pill, then I will hand over the position of vice president of Han Group to Tian Shui. A useless person like you still remembers your wife and even covets my position. So what? Are you scared? Do you dare to bet? She then turned and walked away, calling back, scared? Do you really think of yourself as a deity? I accept this bet, and I will go prepare for the announcement of the new drug. Wait until Ling Young Master arrives. Chien Hai then turned to look at Ling Yun, puzzled. Xiao Yun, even if the Han family suffers losses regarding the youth-preserving pill, with the strong dragon ranking here, the Han family can still rise again. Why should we take the gamble? Tian Shui, on the other hand, contradicted his thoughts and interjected, Dad, you should trust Ling Yun, hasn't he brought us enough surprises? At this moment, he took a piece of paper from his jacket pocket and continued, because this force is very far from High City, our Han family has never had contact with them. Even if you can achieve cooperation with them, the journey is still long, and I fear it won't be in time for the announcement. But this is the only help I can offer you. Ling Yun didn't need what he offered and immediately turned to leave, saying over his shoulder, I told you, I can handle it. Everyone go prepare for the announcement, I'll be back soon. The scene shifts to the press conference hall where a meeting is about to take place. A guy was already sitting there, looking at another guy who just approached, and spoke up, Zhang reporter, didn't you say a few days ago that the Han family had cut ties with the Chien family? Isn't it true that the new product can't be launched? Could it be that my intel was wrong? This press conference will definitely announce the termination of the new product launch. At the press conference, we will take the opportunity to undermine the Han family. The Han family will be brought down to the depths. Down to the depths. We have no enmity with the Han family. Why would we do that? We have no grudge against the Han family, but others do. Let me tell you, the core materials for the new product are in the hands of the Chien family. Are you saying that defeating the Han family will please the Chien family? Not only that, but defeating the Han family could also earn us a reward from that woman Han Yingji, and the Chien family will also be grateful. One arrow, two targets. At that moment, a man nearby began to announce, it's starting, the press conference is about to begin. Isn't that Han Tian Shui? Why is she the one hosting the press conference? Tian Shui then stepped up, took the microphone at the podium, and said, welcome everyone to the Han Group press conference. The purpose of this press conference is to announce the upcoming launch of our beauty health product, called the youth-preserving pill. The people sitting below couldn't help but exclaim in astonishment, what? Continuing to develop? Has the Han family and the Chien family reconciled? No way, dot. The Han family and the Chien family have deep-seated enmity, how can that be? Tian Shui stood there and continued, the youth-preserving pill is something that the Han Group has spent many years and put all their efforts into researching. After use, it can eliminate freckles and wrinkles, brighten the eyes, cure diseases, and extend lifespan. At this moment, Zhang, the reporter, also stood up to voice his doubts, wait a minute, if what you say is true, doesn't that mean the youth-preserving pill can rejuvenate people? Is it possible that the Han Group has developed an immortal pill? Han lady, aren't you exaggerating a bit? Can rejuvenation really be discussed so casually? The Han Group in High City is also considered reputable, so how can you just say whatever comes to mind and boast like this? I know everyone is very skeptical about whether this is a joke or not, just wait until you see it for yourself to know. Hearing her confident tone, Zhang reporter smiled and asked again, oh, so you can provide a real product, right? That's right, we will display the real product shortly. Hey, don't think no one knows. The youth-preserving pill you are promoting has always lacked the core ingredients. But only the Chien family in both cities has that ingredient. How can the Chien family supply it to you now? The others present at the press conference immediately stood up in shock and exclaimed loudly, what? the core ingredient of the youth-preserving pill is in the hands of the Chien family. The Han group is becoming increasingly shameless, daring to speak nonsense like that. Reporter Zhang then continued, surely the Han group isn't trying to deceive us with fake products, right? This is truly desperate behavior. Tian Shui, standing at the podium, denied this, saying, no, we have stated that the youth-preserving pill is genuine, and its effectiveness is just as I said. What do you have to prove that? Just your words. The Han group is launching such a serious product, and it seems a bit inappropriate for you to represent it, doesn't it? Where is your Han president? The green-haired girl sitting in the audience wore a smug smile as she looked down, thinking, that useless person wants to eye my position. You are still too inexperienced. At that moment, Ling Yun appeared with a smile on his face and said, fake medicine. If you are so sure, why not try it yourself to see if it's real or not? The reporter Zhang sitting on this side looked a bit surprised and quickly said, are you Ling Yun? Tian Shui, standing on the stage, couldn't help but be surprised and hurriedly asked, Ling Yun, did you find it? This is. Yes, this is the youth-preserving pill. As he said this, he immediately brought it in front of the reporter Zhang with an expression full of evil energy, it's your turn. Prove its effectiveness to everyone yourself. Oh no, I can't. If something happens to me, I won't be able to explain it to the company. Saying this, he pointed at a cleaning lady nearby, didn't you say the youth-preserving pill can rejuvenate people? Then let her try it. She, standing over there, glanced over with a question mark in her mind. The reporter Zhang and Ling Yun then approached her and started a conversation, Auntie, don't be nervous. This is your company's new product, there won't be any problems, right, Ling Young Master? Ling Yun then opened the box, revealing the glowing pill inside, is this the youth-preserving pill? Ha ha ha, are you really not afraid of killing someone? At this moment, Tian Shui also approached, placing a hand on her shoulder to reassure her, Auntie, you've been working here for so long, you know what kind of people we are. Don't worry. I trust you guys, Han lady. With that, she unhesitatingly placed the youth-preserving pill in her mouth and swallowed it. The others sitting in the stands began to chatter excitedly, she really took it, it can't be a real miracle drug, right? But after a long while, the old worker showed no signs of change and stood there frozen. The reporter Zhang pointed at her and shouted, this is fake medicine, that's why it has no effect. Now let me see how you explain this. The others present immediately stood up, collectively shouting, fake medicine. Han group dares to announce fake medicine, this time even jumping into the Yellow River won't wash away their guilt. What is there to explain? The effects of the medicine are already evident, why don't you take another look? Just as Ling Yun finished speaking, the old worker on this side immediately transformed into a young girl, looking astonished at her own curves. Han lady, it's me. All those who just criticized Ling Yun's medicine turned pale and exclaimed, this is? Has it really achieved the effect of rejuvenation? The youth-preserving pill actually has such effects. Another man nearby started taking out his pen and paper, closing his eyes and hurriedly jotting down notes, report this, quickly report this. The immortal pill is like this. Meanwhile, the reporter Zhang stood there in shock, unable to believe his eyes, so there really is a medicine that can rejuvenate a person. Could it be that Ling Yun is a celestial being descended to earth? Tian Shui, standing next to Ling Yun, let out a sigh of relief and said, thank goodness for you. The press conference ended successfully. Before she could finish her sentence, Ling Yun interrupted, no, it's not over yet. With that, he dashed like the wind to stand in front of the green-haired woman, have you seen enough of the show? Tomorrow I'll be waiting for you at the company, don't forget our agreement. I can pretend I didn't see those small actions you did. After saying this, Ling Yun left, leaving her biting her teeth in anger, thinking silently. You are just a dog of the Han family, and you dare to treat me like this, just wait and see. A moment later, in Chien Hai's office, he was proudly placing his hand on Ling Yun's shoulder and said, the Han Group stock price has skyrocketed nearly double in a short time due to the release of a youth-preserving pill. With the children of the Han family in our grasp in Hai City. However, although our youth-preserving pill is said to make people younger, it is not to the extent of reversing aging completely. Ling Yun, you are taking out an immortal pill here. Now all the tycoons in High City are staring at the Han family's youth-preserving pill, not knowing whether it is a blessing or a curse. At the same time, the assistant walked in from outside to announce. President Han, all the beauty groups in High City have sent representatives who want to discuss cooperation with the Han group. Chien Hai was not surprised by this, closing his eyes. What should come has come. Ling Yun beside him then started to respond. Tell them to wait in the conference room. If they are all coming for my youth-preserving pill, then I will go meet them. Alright, at that time, tell Tian Shui to go with you. After all, she is currently the deputy general manager of the Han group. Upon hearing this, Tian Shui's expression turned surprised, and she questioned back. Vice President, is it really me? The bet your group made with Ing Ji, I was there too. From now on, you, Tian Shui, will be the Vice President of Han Group. A moment later, in the waiting room, hushed voices began to murmur. This Han President is really impressive, keeping us here for so long, and just releasing the youth-preserving pill has already made them look down on us. If the youth-preserving pill is officially sold, won't they be soaring high? Therefore, we can't let the Han family monopolize the development of the youth-preserving pill. We must force the Han family to reveal the formula. Exactly, with the Han family's true face like this, if they exploit the youth-preserving pill to rise, it will definitely put pressure on other tycoons in High City. Right, we must make the Han family hand over the formula. At the same time, Ing Ji was sitting in front of her computer screen, observing the conversation of those men, revealing a smug smile. The dozen or so wealthy families in High City are joining forces to apply pressure. If you hand over the formula, it will cut off the Han family's path to rising. Wanting to snatch my vice president position, I'm curious how you all will handle this. Returning to the waiting room, where the tycoons were looking at the three people, Ling Yun. In front of them, one person spoke up, is this the hospitality of the Han family? The Han president doesn't even show his face, and instead sends a fool to deal with us. Another added, I remember that Lady Han Tian Shui has no position in the corporation. What is she doing here? Next to Lady Han is her useless husband, bullying people excessively. The third person chimed in, the Han family really sent a fool to entertain us. The assistant, hearing those words, smiled in response, hospitality, you say? Lady Han is the newly appointed vice president of Han Group. Do you think the vice president of the company is not worthy of entertaining you? One tycoon asked, Vice President. Isn't that Han Ing Ji? How did it turn into her? Another mocked, it's one thing for Lady Han to come, but bringing her useless husband along, what is that? Do they really think the Han family is at the top of High City now? Ling Yun, standing in front of them, began to speak, I am not coming. A tycoon asked, who are you looking for to demand the formula? Ling Yun replied, oh, hearing you say that, you already know our intention. Moreover, the formula for the youth-preserving pill is still with that useless person, isn't it? Ling Yun affirmed, that's right, the formula for the youth-preserving pill will not be sold. Please invite everyone back. One of the men heard this and immediately stood up, saying loudly, I'm afraid Lady Han has misunderstood. Everyone here represents the wealthy families of High City. We are not asking the Han family to sell the formula. Lady Han, sharing the formula could help us build closer ties with other families, so why not? At this moment, all the tycoons exerted pressure on the three Ling Yun with their influence. Ing Ji, seeing this, stroked her chin and smiled smugly, the deputy director is not that simple. Tian Shui, you are still too inexperienced. Ling Yun, on this side, showed no fear and continued, what, planning to rob us? In front of him were a group of tycoons radiating evil energy, all directing their gazes at the two of them. Quickly hand over the formula, and your Han family will have a way out. Otherwise, if you offend us, I'm afraid that even if your family dares to sell, no one will dare to buy. Ling Yun stood firm, exuding an aura around him, and smiled as he continued, what a show-off, you all must be hidden expert dragon-ranking families, right? You really are an idiot. Here, we have a full 30 expert dragon rankings. Do you, a foolish son-in-law, dare to think you can oppose us? 30 strong dragon rankings, and you dare to take action to seize it. Are you all insane? This youth-preserving pill is known as the elixir of eternal youth. For their noble families, nothing is more important than life itself. At this point, Lin Yun began to summon floating needles around him. But relying solely on you to seize it is still not enough qualification. After saying this, he immediately launched the needles towards them. In an instant, the needles stopped right before the foreheads of all the expert dragon rankings. The faces of all turned pale with fear, not daring to say a word. Hidden weapon, huh? I didn't even see when you made your move. To use hidden weapons to such a degree, you must be the leader of the dragon rankings. The Han family truly hides things very well. While they were still in shock, Lin Yun continued to speak, leave now, and I can consider this as if nothing happened. Otherwise, I won't hesitate to tear apart your noble family's trump card into pieces. He heard this and quickly clasped his hands together, stammering. Thank you, Lin young master, for sparing my life. I will leave right away. The other dragon ranking members also clasped their hands and thanked him in unison. But suddenly, one of them did not follow suit and calmly spoke up. Impressive, is that the legendary Ghost Gate 13 needles? As he said this, a wave of dragon energy emanated from his body, with 3 eyes focused on Lin Yun. With your strength, I fear you would only rank in the 40s of the dragon ranking. The other dragon ranking members were taken aback, exclaiming. Surrounded by dragon energy, could he be from the Chien family? Chien family? Unless he is a direct descendant of the Dragon King. The Chien family has protected High City for generations, yet they are now taking action against the Han family. Lin Yun stood opposite him, staring intently without saying anything. Ingji, seeing this, revealed a smug smile, thinking. Lin Yun, no matter how powerful you are, can you really compete with the Chien family? At the same time, the person standing before Lin Yun took a fighting stance, introducing himself. 30 dragon ranking, Chen Ji, I invite you to give me guidance. Those from noble families like you are truly foolish. Chen Ji immediately waved his hand, unleashing a stream of spirit dragon straight toward Lin Yun. He stood there with a smug expression, took a deep breath, and continued, don't say it's just an illusion, even a real dragon must bow its head before me. As soon as he finished speaking, Chen Ji's spirit dragon vanished in front of his astonished eyes. What is this? The illusory dragon palm was broken just by his snort. Before he could regain his senses, Lin Yun threw out sharp spikes toward him. After Chen Ji managed to block one of the attacks, still in shock, he thought, the dragon shadow technique of my Chien family has actually failed. At that moment, another spike from Lin Yun came rushing toward him. By the time Chen Ji realized it, it had pierced through his forehead, killing him on the spot. All the remaining dragon ranking members stood up in shock, exclaiming, is he dead? I never expected him to be this strong. This is the hidden power of the Han family. Lin Yun on this side also began to turn and look towards them, speaking in a deep voice, have you watched enough of the show? As soon as he finished speaking, all the members of the dragon ranking rushed out of the room, shouting, he has killed someone from the Chien family. The 30-strong dragon ranking was killed by one of his moves. The 2 cities are about to change. We must hurry back to inform the clan, and in the future, don't dare provoke the Han family again. At this moment, Lin Yun, standing inside the room, also glanced at the camera placed in the corner. Then, he decisively threw a nail straight at it. Immediately, Ingji's computer lost connection, and nothing could be seen anymore. Seeing this, her face turned astonished, and she stood up abruptly. Could it be that the useless person has discovered me? This Chen Ji has messed everything up, he couldn't even deal with a useless person. How could he not handle someone from the Chien family? This is really difficult. While Ingji was still lost in thought, a figure gradually approached. When she noticed, it was just in time for that figure to swing their arm down, striking directly at her. The woman Ingji, who had just taken a blow, was unconscious, lying motionless on the ground. The figure was Jiang Nanking, who was angrily looking at her body with his hands stuffed in his pockets. A smug expression then appeared on his face, and he smiled, thinking, Lin Yun, it's time to settle our debt. Not long after, inside the abandoned house, Ingji was still unconscious, her hands and feet tied, leaning against the wall behind her. A long-haired man turned to Jiang Nanking and asked, now that we've captured this girl, do you think Lin Yun will take the bait? Of course, Lin Yun doesn't care about this girl's life or death, but his wife does. Immediately after, another man brought a bucket of water and splashed it directly onto Yingji's face. She woke up from the cold splash, looked around weakly, and said, where is this? Jiang Nanking, family master of the Chien family, Chen Jinghao, what do you want to do? What do we want? Of course, we're giving you a chance, he said, raising his phone with Tian Shue's number. A chance to live. Tell someone to come save her. She had also realized this at that moment, frowning in anger and shouting, You all see me as bait to lure Lingyun here, don't you? That's right. Didn't you come up with countless plans to eliminate that Lingyun? We're helping you here, aren't we? At that moment, Tian Shui on the other end of the line had also picked up and called out, Hello, sister, where are you? She then began to sob loudly, saying, Xiao Shui, sister, save me. Hearing this, Tian Shui slammed the table and stood up, quickly saying, What? Where are you? After finishing the conversation, she turned to Ling Yun and recounted the situation. My sister has been kidnapped by Jiang Nanking. Ling Yun, you need to think of a way to save her. Your sister has always been at odds with us. Who knows how many times she has secretly tried to trip us up. This is her own doing. At this moment, Tian Shui thought about the image of herself and her sister as children and replied sadly, That's not true. Sister Yingji treated me very well before. Ling Yun, upon hearing this, said nothing and remained silent for a moment, then pulled out a chair, stood up, and asked, Where is she now? The abandoned scrap metal yard on the outskirts of High City. Wait, what they want is to scare you into luring him into a trap. Do you really want to go there directly? My husband has extraordinary talents, relying on them alone isn't enough to harm you. Tian Shui, you can rest assured. Hearing this, her expression became less worried, and she continued, Then please be careful. A moment later, Ling Yun arrived at the abandoned scrap metal yard. He looked inside, then began to enter and said, A trap. Interesting. Isn't absolute power just a joke in front of these things? At this moment, the guards had also noticed him and hurriedly ran in to report, Family Master, that bastard Ling Yun is at the door. Good, capture him alive. I want to execute him by slow slicing to avenge my brother. His subordinates, hearing this, were all fired up and shouted in unison, Yes, sir. At the same time, just as Ling Yun took a few more steps, he stepped into a binding formation. Looking at the dragon before him, Ling Yun was a bit surprised and wondered, Dragon Shadow? Is the Chien family also here? At the same time, the dragon-ranking members hiding behind the nearby walls were whispering among themselves. I heard that guy killed the family master's younger brother. Can our coiled dragon formation defeat him? Even the family master has to be somewhat wary facing the coiled dragon formation, so what is this little son-in-law of the Han family? I'm even afraid that if I kill him, I won't know how to report back to the family master. While they were still smugly chatting, Ling Yun looked up at the dragon shadow and said loudly, Even if your true body comes here, you must obey me, otherwise, lie down for me right now. As soon as he finished speaking, a smug smile appeared on his face along with a bright gaze directed at the writhing dragon shadow before him. It immediately lay down in front of Ling Yun with a resounding roar. The dragon-ranking member controlling it was also stunned, spitting out a mouthful of blood. After regaining his composure, he wiped the blood from his mouth and spoke, Is it really possible to break the coiled dragon formation just by sheer momentum? Who on earth is he? Hurry, and inform the family master. What kind of monster is this bastard? Right after that, Ling Yun appeared right in the middle of them, his voice deep as he said, Are you talking about me? Without giving them a moment to regain their composure, he swung his hand, launching his nails to take down all of them. Go down and wait for your family master. After a while, their family master standing on this side looked a bit surprised and questioned, Why is there no movement? Is it possible that even the coiled dragon formation is useless against that bastard? At the same time, a subordinate of his rushed in from outside, shouting, Family master, it's bad. Before he could finish his sentence, he was pierced through the head by a nail, dying on the spot. The nail did not stop there but continued to fly straight into the ground next to Zheng Hao. Ling Yun then retrieved it into his hand and began to speak, Your mission is over, you can go down with them now. Seeing this, Zheng Hao took off his coat, smiled, and said, I didn't expect my subordinate wouldn't even be able to handle the coiled dragon formation and got eliminated by you. Your hidden weapon skills are truly profound and unfathomable, even I cannot defeat you. Chien Ji, my young brother, lost to you. It's not unfair, but, as he spoke, he suddenly flexed, revealing extremely well-defined muscles, ripping apart the shirt on his body. At this moment, Jiang Nanking also stepped forward with a smug expression and shouted, "A useless person like you, today, this is where you'll be buried." Standing opposite him, Ling Yun didn't look the least bit surprised. He calmly continued, "That day at the Jiangnan Martial Hall, you didn't show up. And now you dare reveal yourself? Cut the crap. Don't worry, once I kill you, the rest of the Han family will follow right after. Though I'm afraid you won't be able to wait for your wife down there. I'll have to enjoy her properly first." Hearing that, Ling Yun's expression completely changed to fury. He glared and replied, "Since you like going down there so much, I'll send you myself." Jiang Nanking grinned arrogantly, thinking, so easy to provoke. Still too inexperienced. But just as the thought crossed his mind, Ling Yun's hand suddenly appeared, clamping onto his face. In the next moment, Ling Yun dragged him backward and slammed his head violently into the floor. The remaining guy witnessing that scene couldn't help but be astonished, thinking to himself. Isn't this guy using a hidden weapon? How can he have such terrifying speed? Did he really just kill the Jiangnan king with one blow? Thinking this, he quickly rushed from behind Ling Yun, launching the subdue dragon tail slap. Daring to turn your back on me without any defense, you little brat who doesn't respect anyone. But just as his fist swung, Ling Yun had already turned his head, shouting. Kneel down. Immediately, Zheng Hao was forced to kneel by a wave of pressure from Ling Yun, unable to lift his head at all. What is this? No, this is an illusion. This brat actually knows magic, I almost got scared by him. But as he lifted one foot, a voice with Ling Yun's immense pressure made him kneel down once more. Did I say you could stand up? Now, he was like a slave obeying everything Ling Yun said, unable to resist. Zheng Hao then looked down at his arm with a surprised expression, thinking. Why is the dragon shadow technique ineffective? No way. It's not that it has lost its effectiveness, but that the dragon shadow technique is afraid. Just relying on the momentum can make the dragon shadow technique, the direct inheritance of the dragon king, feel fear. This person is likely no longer within the realm of mortals. After thinking this, he immediately bowed his head before Ling Yun, surrendering. He said loudly, "Please spare my life, young Master Ling. I am willing to offer the Chien family to you, forever belonging to you." Hearing this, Ling Yun began to draw a talisman in response. "You are the only one who clearly sees the reality after I arrived in this world. I allow you to possess this talisman, and you may recognize me as your master. Yes, sect master. Come to this world." He is indeed not immortal. Both Ling Yun and the other person had now approached Ting Ji, who was unconscious on the ground. Zheng Hao from the Chien family then began to place his hand on her forehead, transmitting a stream of energy into her. As soon as Ting Ji received the energy, she gradually woke up and sat up. Upon seeing Ling Yun, her expression became somewhat joyful, and she called out, Ling Yun, you finally came. Don't misunderstand. I only came to save you out of respect for Tian Shui." As he spoke, he bent down to take out a needle and held it up in front of her. "But your death penalty is exempt, it's the living penalty that's hard to escape." With that, he immediately thrust it forward, hitting a pressure point on Ting Ji's chest, causing her to panic. What do you want to do? I have planted the Ghost Gate 13 needles in you. If you dare to disrespect me and Tian Shui again, I will make you wish for life but not get it, wish for death but not achieve it. But just as Ling Yun said this, he sensed something and paused, glancing towards the outside of the door. Immediately, an arrow shot quickly towards Ling Yun, met with his calm smile. As the arrow flew close, it was swiftly caught by the family master of the Chien family, who broke it and exclaimed. Lowly talent, dare to show yourself? Ling Yun, standing behind, showed little concern and spoke up. No need to search anymore, he has already left. The arrow missed and he has run away. Where did the rat come from? As he spoke, he suddenly halted upon seeing a piece of paper stuck to the arrow. Huh? What is this? After opening it and reading, the expression of Zheng Hao from the Chien family immediately turned panic-stricken as he turned to Ling Yun and shouted. The sect master, Han family is in danger. The letter states that if Han Tian Shui is not to be blown up, then he must go alone to Crouching Dragon Manor. The Coiled Dragon Guild has planted a bomb in the Han family. Hearing this, Ling Yun's complexion turned pale. He realized, Coiled Dragon Guild. The enemy of the Han family. The Coiled Dragon Guild in High City is very secretive and mysterious. No one knows the exact strength of the Coiled Dragon Guild, but I have never heard that the Han family and the Coiled Dragon Guild have any grudges against each other. However, I have heard that the leader of the Coiled Dragon Guild is extremely interested in the youth-preserving pill of the sect master. Is it again because of the youth-preserving pill? Lead the way. Hearing this, he did not dare to resist and clasped his hands, as you command. A moment later, both of them arrived in front of the Coiled Dragon Guild's courtyard. At this point, Ling Yun began to enter inside and instructed, I will go in alone, you wait here. No one is allowed to step into Crouching Dragon Manor. Yes, sect master. As soon as he stepped inside, his gaze went straight to the camera mounted nearby. The boss sitting on this side was also a bit surprised. The son-in-law of the Han family is not to be underestimated. As soon as the old man finished speaking, the television screen lost its signal, and nothing could be seen anymore. He then smiled and gestured to his subordinates behind him. Go, make sure to welcome our esteemed guest properly. One of the others standing nearby looked a bit worried and quickly spoke up. Boss, this Ling Yun can take on 2 opponents, defeating Jiang Nanking and Chen Jinghao. His strength shouldn't be underestimated. Can our subordinates really stop him? No matter how strong he is, he's just a martial artist, waving his hands and feet a little. This is the era of science and technology now. But he's not an ordinary martial artist, he's a dragon-ranking martial artist. So what if he's dragon-ranking? If hit by a bomb, he'll die just the same. Besides, his weakness is in my hands. What storm can he cause now? Ha ha ha. At that moment, Ling Yun burst in through the door. Waiting for him inside was a group of people holding heavy rifles, ready for him. The leader of their group began to speak loudly, instructing. Make sure to aim for his limbs, the boss wants him alive. As soon as a shot rang out from him, all the guns were cocked and fired straight at Ling Yun. He stood facing the hail of bullets, his expression emotionless and unflinching. Instantly, a shield appeared around him, blocking the barrage of bullets flying towards him. The leader frowned at this, gritting his teeth in anger. How dare you not dodge and confront such heavy fire head-on, it's truly reckless. Let me see how long you can endure. After a while, not a single bullet could penetrate Ling Yun's shield, making him feel a bit sleepy as he yawned. The leader across from him turned pale, his mouth agape in astonishment, exclaiming. How can he openly face the attack? No need to avoid the critical spots anymore, just unleash everything on him. Hearing this, a guy with a cannon standing nearby immediately pulled the trigger, firing it straight at Ling Yun. He stood before that powerful blow, still unafraid, calmly putting his hands in his pockets. Just before the cannonball came crashing down, Ling Yun raised his hand and effortlessly caught it. Then, he crushed the bullet flat without any effort at all. After that, he tossed it behind him, igniting an explosion that surrounded his body. Ling Yun stood within the flames, casually walking out, and began to speak, is it noisy enough? If it is noisy enough. The leader standing opposite Ling Yun, witnessing the scene, was taken aback, his mouth agape in shock, exclaiming, I can't be seeing this wrong, can I? Is he catching missiles with his bare hands? At that moment, Ling Yun had already summoned a stream of spiritual energy, smiling smugly as he continued, now it's my turn. Not long after, inside the Coiled Dragon Guild's house, a voice rang out, Boss, that guy easily wiped out our brothers, he's about to come in here. Upon hearing this, the old man broke into an excited smile, praising, his strength is truly not to be underestimated. If that's the case, let's release that thing. What? You want to release that thing? Boss, you don't want to keep the prisoners anymore. If he thinks our hospitality isn't grand enough, then I'll make it even more enthusiastic. Back outside, Ling Yun was still taking down each subordinate of the Coiled Dragon Guild, sparing no one. The remaining ones on this side were in a panic, rushing straight towards the gate, shouting loudly, "Quick, run outside." But after just a few steps, they had to slam to a halt when they saw Zhenghao blocking the door. Chen Zhenghao, you're not dead." He stood facing them, not bothering to respond as he began to lift one of his legs. Next, he executed the subdued dragon tail slap, kicking all the fleeing ones back inside. Afterwards, he shot them a sharp glare and said, "Who dares to step out of the crouching dragon manor?" All of them, upon hearing this, turned astonished, their mouths agape in disbelief. At the same time, Ling Yun had finished off all the soldiers and was stepping closer to the door. But just as he was about to push the door open, he sensed something inside and paused in surprise. Immediately, a massive arm appeared from behind the door, smashing it to pieces and lunging toward Ling Yun. He then bent down, narrowly dodging the blow. In front of him stood a bald man with a muscular build and two bloodshot eyes, radiating evil energy. He wore a smug smile as he looked at him. Ling Yun frowned in anger, thinking to himself, the evil energy is overwhelming. With this thought, he began to step back to gain momentum, causing the ground beneath his feet to crack. Then, he delivered a powerful kick to the bald man's side, sending him flying. The force of the blow knocked him into a house, creating a large dent. The bald man was still able to sit up, despite one side of his ribs being caved in. Ling Yun was somewhat surprised, thinking, not dead. Moreover, he feels no pain and has no rationality. This is corpse magic. At the same time, several other human modifications appeared nearby, slowly advancing toward him. Another figure emerged from the rooftop, speaking, "How is it? Are you satisfied with this welcoming ritual?" Ling Yun looked up and saw it was the boss of the Coiled Dragon Guild, looking down at him with a smug expression. He then turned his gaze to the human modifications, asking curiously, "Are you using living humans? Using corpse chi techniques on living people?" The old man standing up there clapped in appreciation upon hearing this. Ling Young Master indeed has a discerning eye. That's right, these human modifications were all performed while the subjects were still alive. The success rate is extremely low, only strong martial artists can succeed. Moreover, even after success, they lack rationality. But I've heard that the youth-preserving pill of Ling Young Master is quite miraculous. If we cooperate, we could create incredibly perfect modified martial artists. At that point, dominating High City would be as easy as turning over my hand. What do you think, Ling Young Master? Haha, dominating High City based solely on these things. Ridiculous. Upon hearing this, the old man took out a pre-prepared bomb and continued, "Unfortunately, it seems that Ling Young Master does not wish to cooperate." As he said this, the old man immediately dropped the bomb, causing it to explode in a cloud of smoke enveloping the human modifications. Then I'll let you experience a bit of their power. Once the smoke cleared, all of them became aggressive, growling, and then surged toward the male lead. He stood there, hands in his pockets, exuding an aura, and continued speaking. "You are not worthy to discuss collaboration with me. The momentum is too strong. If you were an ordinary martial artist, you'd probably be scared to the point of wetting your pants by now. It's a pity that these human modifications know no fear." But as he finished speaking, the human modifications stood still, not moving an inch. No way. How could those mindless beings be afraid of you? The human modifications then began to kneel before the male protagonist, their bodies trembling. Next, they looked up at him, stuttering a word, "Spare, spare." Ling Yun stood before them with a serious expression, frowning as he spoke, "Rest in peace." All the human modifications gradually began to fade away after his words. One of them, before completely vanishing, looked at the male protagonist and said 4 words, "Thank you, Your Majesty." He then turned back to the Coiled Dragon Guild boss and said, "Now it's your turn to go down there with them." Seeing this, the old man began to panic, retreating backwards and hurriedly speaking in a trembling voice, How can you do this? What are you, really? You better not come over here. As soon as I press this button, the Han family will be wiped out in an instant. Don't you care about your wife's life? Ling Yun stood below, ignoring his words and moving forward. You can try it. The old man slowly moved his finger to press the button, gritting his teeth and shouting loudly. You're forcing me. Let your wife be buried with me. Just before the old man pressed the button, the male lead below acted faster, swinging his hand to unleash a powerful force. Instantly, that force severed the hand of the Coiled Dragon Guild boss that was about to press the button, shocking the old man. What? Is that sword energy gathering? Could this be the legendary 6 Meridian Sword God? This move has been lost for hundreds of years, how can you? Ling Yun then crushed the remote under his foot and raised his hand to continue. Is this your last words? Why you can't kill me? My Coiled Dragon Guild has a very close relationship with the Ouyang family in High City. If you kill me, the Ouyang family will not let you go. Hearing this, Ling Yun smirked with satisfaction and continued to gather a force in his hand. What the hell is the Ouyang family? The Ouyang family has ancient ancestors who are formidable. The ancient ancestor of Ouyang is renowned as powerful, the pinnacle of mortals. You can't touch me. Ling Yun, upon hearing this, appeared unfazed and asked curiously, are you done talking? Seeing his expression, the old man became even more frightened and stepped back, thinking to himself, could it be that this brat really isn't afraid of the Ouyang family? Suddenly, a helicopter appeared in the sky with one of the old man's subordinates inside, shouting loudly, Boss, our brothers have all been summoned here. Outside, Zheng Hao had also approached the male lead, announcing, Sect Master, the Crouching Dragon Manor has been surrounded by the Coiled Dragon Guild's men. At this moment, both of them were completely surrounded, with no way to escape. Boss, we have arrived. Is this the guy who brought our Coiled Dragon Guild together here? Seeing this, the old man's expression returned to one of smugness as he laughed loudly, haha, even if you really are the 6 Meridian Sword God, so what? Now all my Coiled Dragon Guild members are here, how are you going to stop us? Zheng Hao, standing below, continued speaking. Sect Master, although no one from the Coiled Dragon Guild is in the dragon ranking, their numbers are overwhelming and the area is restricted. Many ants can still take down an elephant, we should focus on breaking through the encirclement. The Coiled Dragon Guild boss, standing above, climbed over the railing and continued. Now I give you 2 choices. One is to hand over the youth-preserving pill and swear loyalty to me. I might spare your life. The other is to cut off your own hands and kneel down to beg for mercy. I might let you live. Ling Yun stood before him, disregarding those ridiculous conditions, and began to speak. Are all the members of the Coiled Dragon Guild here? Perfect. Hearing this, the old man immediately waved his hand to signal the helicopter and shouted. You fool, can't you see the situation? If you are intent on seeking death, then I will grant your wish. Right after that, the helicopter unleashed a barrage of bullets towards the male lead. He stood below without dodging, raising his arm high instead. Seeing this, the Coiled Dragon Guild boss's expression changed drastically as he recognized the move. Not good. He quickly looked up at the helicopter and shouted loudly. Get out of the way. But it was too late when the main character's surge of energy rushed straight into the helicopter, faster than the old man's words, causing it to explode in midair. Zheng Hao stood below, witnessing the scene, and was stunned, his eyes wide with astonishment, thinking to himself, is this really the 6 Meridian Sword God of the Sword God Great Wilderness Mountain? Such power! At that moment, Ling Yun suddenly appeared in front of the old man standing on the balcony. He began to swing his leg towards him and continued, since we're all here, it saves me the trouble of looking for you to settle this. With that, he delivered a powerful kick to the old man's stomach, causing him to roll his eyes and fly off the balcony. The force of that kick had sent the Coiled Dragon Guild boss crashing down to the ground in front of the surrounding subordinates. As the smoke gradually dissipated, it revealed the lifeless body of the old man, along with the murmurs of those around. How could this be? The boss is dead. One of them looked up at Ling Yun, opened his mouth wide, and shouted, charge in, kill that guy, avenge the boss. But at that moment, the obstacle in front of them was Zheng Hao, ready to confront each one that rushed in. But Ling Yun then appeared from behind, placing a hand on his shoulder to stop him. The members of the Coiled Dragon Guild had also rushed in front of the two of them, raising their fists and shouting, kill, avenge the boss. Ling Yun on this side also raised his hand, smiled, and began to chant a spell. Immediately, he unleashed a series of spiritual energy swords around him, charging straight at the members of the Coiled Dragon Guild. They were unable to react in time to the main character's surprise attack and were all hit, collapsing to the ground unconscious. Zheng Hao, witnessing this scene, couldn't help but gawk in astonishment, thinking, just lifting a finger could wipe out the entire Coiled Dragon Guild. While he was still trying to regain his composure, the main character turned his back and walked away, calling out, "Let's go quickly." On the way back, Zheng Hao felt a bit anxious and turned to remind Ling Yun, sect master, the Ouyang family that Zheng Long just mentioned still needs to be cautious. The Ouyang family has 100 years of inheritance, and the disciples in the clan are all trained on the battlefield outside the realm. They are all strong and have killed countless people. As for the old ancestor, he is the immortal who emerged earliest from the great wilderness mountain in High City. Fear can also have extraordinary tactics. Even though the Chien family is a prestigious clan, they are only worthy of being a dog for the Ouyang family. Ling Yun listened and replied without any worry, "It's fine, don't mention a small clan that's been around for hundreds of years. Even if the demon god from the great wilderness mountain came out, it would just be an ant. Let's hurry back." "Yes, yes, sect master." After saying this, Zheng Hao watched the back of the male lead and thought to himself, if the Ouyang ancestor could survive coming out of the great wilderness mountain, then his strength must be comparable to the sect master. The sect master is still so arrogant, he really doesn't know the heights of heaven or depths of the earth. A moment later, inside the Ouyang family, a hand slammed down on the table, shouting, "What?" The Coiled Dragon Guild was completely wiped out in just one day. Indeed, family master. The Crouching Dragon Manor still reeks of blood. What force could completely eradicate the Coiled Dragon Guild? Could it be that someone has emerged from the great wilderness mountain? Family master, I heard that before the Coiled Dragon Guild was destroyed, a person entered the Crouching Dragon Manor. Hearing this, he leaned in closely and asked, "Who is it?" The person is the son-in-law of the Han family, Ling Yun. The Han family? I've heard for a long time that the Han family has a hidden power that has been lurking for many years. I didn't expect them to be strong enough to easily destroy the Coiled Dragon Guild. Quickly go call Jing Heir and Ting Heir here. Yes. After the subordinate left, he leaned back, clasped his hands together, and thought to himself, the Han family really hides well. Not long after, his two daughters entered and said, "Dad, you called us. You two go to the Han family and get something for me." Jing Heir and Ting Heir were a bit curious and asked, "What is it, Dad?" "Bring me the head of that useless son-in-law from the Han family." "Dad, what's wrong? He's just a son-in-law, and you want us to go there together. If you directly order the Han family to hand over that son-in-law's head, they might be scared enough to comply. What do you understand? That Ling Yun is a hidden expert of the Han family. Not only did he kill the Jiangnan king and subdue the Chien family, but he also destroyed the Coiled Dragon Guild that I nurtured in just one day, and his strength is extremely formidable." "What? He destroyed the Coiled Dragon Guild in one day? I couldn't even do that." "No wonder Dad said we should go together." Switching scenes to the inside of the Han Corporation party. Chien Hai stands inside, gesturing towards Ling Yun, cheerfully saying, "Fortunately, with Ling Yun, our Han Corporation is no longer ordinary. The Chien family has taken the initiative to apologize and is even begging for cooperation." At the same time, Ling Wei and his friends also approach Ling Yun, awkwardly raising their glasses. "Brother-in-law, I was blind before and didn't see the mountain, I toast to you." "That's right, before we were blind and offended Ling Young Master. We apologize to Ling Young Master." While he is happily clinking glasses with the others, Chien Hai nearby stands next to Ing Ji, whispering, "Ing Ji, you mocked Ling Yun a lot before, and it was Ling Yun who rescued you when you were caught, so hurry up and toast him." Hearing this, she also trembles as she raises her glass and approaches Ling Yun. Brother-in-law, I'm sorry, I apologize to you, I'll self-punish with a drink." At the same time, from outside, two girls, Jing Heir and Ting Heir, have also approached the door of the room. "It sounds like there's a gathering of the family, doesn't it? It's truly enjoyable, but little do you know that this is your last meal, Ling Yun." Back inside the party, Ling Yun was looking at everyone present, cheerfully stating, "I no longer care about what has happened in the past. From now on, everyone remember not to look down on anyone, just use your power to bully others." Tian Shui, sitting next to him, also looked up at him, curious, "Right, Ling Yun, after saving the sisters, why didn't you go back with them? Where did you go?" I just stopped to clean up some trash along the way, and besides, it's not all cleaned up yet. As soon as he finished speaking, Ting Er burst through the door from outside and stormed in. Sorry to interrupt, we're here to collect something. Ling Yun, hand over the head of your friend here. Chien Hai, standing inside, immediately slammed the table, stood up, and shouted, who are you to dare cause trouble with the Han family? Oh, the Han family is currently thriving in High City. The family master comes to the Ouyang family and doesn't even regard us. I am Ouyang Jing, sent by the family master to collect the head of the Han family's son-in-law. Hearing this, Chien Hai's face turned astonished, and he stepped back, thinking. The Ouyang family, is that Ouyang Jing? If so, the person next to her is her sister, Ouyang Ting. Didn't they come out more than 10 years ago? Why do they look so young now? Without thinking much, he quickly gestured towards the table and continued, I'm afraid there's some misunderstanding here. Would you both like to sit down and discuss a bit? We didn't come to negotiate with you. We came to inform you. Ling Yun, you should obediently accept your fate and avoid dragging the Han family into this. Ling Yun killed a subordinate of the Ouyang family and destroyed the entire Coiled Dragon Guild, this cannot be undone. Chien Hai, upon hearing this, was once again taken aback, mouth agape, turning to look at Ling Yun, what? Ling Yun, you actually destroyed the Coiled Dragon Guild. Ouyang Jing, standing across from him, seized the opportunity, pointing directly at him, continuing, useless person, soft and weak, now that you've met someone from the Ouyang family, you're too scared to move. At this point, she began to approach, raising her arm, fine, then I will personally take your head. Tian Shui, standing behind Ling Yun, turned to him with a worried expression, Ling Yun. It's okay. You take everyone away, avoid being affected. After giving her instructions, Ling Yun looked outside and said loudly, have you seen enough? I told you to look at the house, not to watch a play. Suddenly, a foot rushed quickly from behind Ouyang Jing, catching her off guard as she turned around without having time to react. She was then hit squarely and flew backward. The force of the blow carried her sister along, sending them both out of the house and into the yard. Once they stopped, Ouyang Ting looked ahead, surprised, and exclaimed, Chen Zhenghao, indeed the Chen family has submitted to the Han family. Zhenghao stepped out from inside, his expression serious as he said, invading the Han family, plotting chaos, kill. As soon as he finished speaking, all the disciples who had been lying in wait charged toward the two Ouyangs. But the two of them, with their swift agility, maneuvered skillfully, knocking away all the attackers. Too fast, disperse and form the Coiled Dragon formation. Upon hearing this, Ouyang Ting raised her fist, frowning as she shouted, you want to form a formation? With that, she immediately unleashed the earth-breaking fist, shattering the ground around her, causing Zhenghao's disciples to lose their balance and fall backward. Yet it has such terrifying energy, could she be a monster? At the same time, Ouyang Jing appeared in front of a guy who hadn't stood up yet due to the previous blow. She then sat down, raised her fist, and flashed a sinister smile with her blood-red eyes. Zhenghao, witnessing this scene, felt a bit disheartened and spoke up, in an instant, half of the disciples have been killed. Is the power of the Ouyang family really that terrifying? Tell your people to disperse, they don't need to risk their lives anymore. Meanwhile, another disciple of Zhenghao was running away with a panicked expression as Ouyang Jing was about to deliver a finishing blow. But just as she swung her leg down, Ling Yun easily blocked it. The two girls then gathered together, standing in front of him, and said, Ling Yun, you have to come out now. Look, just because of your turtle-like cowardice, so many people have died. Wouldn't it have been better if you had shown your head earlier? Ling Yun stood before them, responding with a determined gaze, if you want to take my head, the Ouyang family is not worthy. You don't think that you can just block me and consider yourself the champion of the world, do you? Let me show you the one force breaks 10,000 techniques of the Ouyang family. After saying that, she immediately lunged toward the back of Ling Yun with eyes full of evil energy, thinking to herself, no reaction. I was serious for a moment and you still couldn't keep up with my speed. Really, looks impressive but is useless. But just as she threw a punch straight into Ling Yun's back, her expression turned to one of astonishment, exclaiming, not even a scratch. No way. Haha, is this the power that your Ouyang family is proud of? Ridiculous. Hearing this made Ouyang Jing completely furious, shouting, acting mysterious, damn useless person. After saying that, she continued to throw dozens of punches into Ling Yun's back, muttering continuously, my punches. No way, this useless person must be wearing some kind of armor. It has to be that way. A long time later, Ouyang Jing's hands were completely shattered in her shock. But not stopping there, she began to lose her mind and took a fighting stance once again. Ouyang Ting, seeing this, hurriedly shouted to stop, Jing Air, stop it now. When her foot swung out once more, the outcome was just like her two hands, crushed to pieces. Seeing this, Ouyang Jing was truly frightened, trembling as she spoke, not even a scratch. No, that can't be possible. Immediately after, she collapsed to the ground with one leg still intact, her eyes rolled back, unconscious. Ouyang Ting, no longer daring to utter a word, fell silent and thought to herself, the Ouyang family relies on strength as its foundation, one force breaks 10,000 techniques. I never expected this Ling Yun to be able to withstand the energy that the Ouyang family prides itself on, relying solely on his body. Thinking of this, she unleashed her power, causing her dress to gradually tear. Then, taking a deep breath, she said, it seems I can only fight you with my life on the line. With that, she charged forward, throwing her fist in a heaven demon earth-breaking fist towards Ling Yun. But he only raised one hand to block the attack, responding, is it noisy enough now? Ouyang Ting, seeing this, spoke in a trembling voice, you could easily block my full-strength punch. It's impossible. After saying that, she continued to swing her remaining fist. But immediately, Ling Yun easily caught it and broke both her arms. He then looked at her and continued, if it's noisy enough already. At this point, Ling Yun began to raise his hands to create swords around him using his spiritual energy. Ouyang Ting, seeing this, turned pale and stammered, is this the Six Meridian Sword God? After Ling Yun's 3 words, let's go, all those 6 Meridian Sword Gods charged straight towards Ouyang Ting. Before she died, she struggled to say one last sentence, Ouyang old ancestor will not let you go. At the same time, there was a binoculars aimed directly at Ling Yun's position, and a voice rang out, to easily defeat the Ouyang family members, this must be the 6 Meridian Sword God. What kind of person is Ling Yun, really? While that person was still puzzled, he turned to look straight at the binoculars with a sharp gaze. Seeing this, the one holding the binoculars was startled and exclaimed, has he noticed? At such a distance, he can still sense it. A little while later, inside Ouyang's house, the old family master was holding a cup of tea in his hand, feeling a bit anxious and puzzled. Why have Jing Air and Ting Air been gone for so long? Just as he thought this, the detective returned and spoke up. Family master. Is there news? Speak quickly. Family master, it seems that Ling Yun possesses the inheritance of the Sword God from Great Wilderness Mountain. The 6 Meridian Sword God, the young master, and lady were no match for him and were killed by Ling Yun. Hearing this, the old man was astonished, crushing the teacup in his hand. Jing Air and Ting Air have been killed. 6 Meridian Sword God, well done Ling Yun. Issue an order to the clan, demanding all disciples of the Ouyang family outside to return to High City immediately. I want the entire Han family wiped out without a single survivor. The detective took the token in his hand, sweating profusely. I understand the order. A little while later, inside the meeting of the summoned mysterious figures. It has been 3 years since our last gathering, has there been any change in the dragon ranking? Recently, there have been very strange changes in the dragon ranking, especially with the Han family. It can be said that they have been rising strongly in High City lately. Is that the Han family just gone for beauty treatments? A small Han family that can stir up waves in High City. The Han family conceals a hidden expert, who is the son-in-law of the Han family, Ling Yun. It seems that this person possesses the inheritance of the Sword God from the Great Wilderness Mountain. In a short time since his emergence, he has reached the 22nd position in the dragon ranking. Although his talent is not bad, being so young and already ranked 22nd, that person is so arrogant that sooner or later he will be dealt with by the major forces in High City, no need to worry. At the same time, the mysterious glass in the hands of an old man over here is emitting an aura along with his loud shout, what is this? What's wrong, Blood King? Do you also think that kid is the reincarnation of the great wilderness mountain sword god? The reincarnation of the Tian mystic maiden has manifested. What? Where? Who? It is the Han family in High City, Han Tian Shui. If we can capture the reincarnation of the Tian mystic maiden as a sacrificial vessel, the strength of our Blood Shadow sect will change completely. Does that mean our Blood Shadow sect has hope of returning to the great wilderness mountain? Returning? At that time, it won't be just about returning. Claiming dominance over Great Wilderness Mountain will be as easy as turning over one's hand. It's just a reincarnation, right? Now, she's just an ordinary girl, not even strong. It seems a bit exaggerated, doesn't it? Exaggerated? Tian Mystic Maiden is the legendary leader of all immortals, the wife of the immortal emperor. Don't even mention creating a cauldron, just drinking a drop of her blood could extend one's life. But if the immortal emperor takes action, how can we mere mortals resist? That's right, I'm afraid we won't even have time to act before the immortal emperor discovers us. Foolish, if the immortal emperor still exists, how could he allow the immortal empress to reincarnate and wander among mortals? It seems the immortal emperor has also reincarnated into an ordinary person. For the Blood Shadow sect, they could be eliminated in the blink of an eye. Hee hee. Capturing Han Tian Shui will bring the Blood Shadow sect more benefits than harm. Let's decide on that. Coincidentally, the Ouyang clan has had conflicts with the Han family recently, so we can lend them a hand. At the same time, inside the Ouyang family, the old family master is standing before the ancestral altar, placing the tablet of his two children on his lips and murmuring. Jing er, Ting er, this time I will personally take the head of the Han family's son-in-law to comfort your spirits in the heavens. He then went outside, standing in front of his subordinates, and declared loudly. That son-in-law of the Han family has only appeared for a short time, yet his cruel methods have killed hundreds of lives, disturbing this high city, leaving no one in peace. Arrogant, autocratic, and ruthless, he has instilled fear in the major powers of High City, who are indignant but dare not speak out. He even destroyed our Coiled Dragon Guild, killing 2 geniuses of the Ouyang family, showing no regard for anyone. Today, we will act on behalf of heaven, flatten the Han family, and take the head of that brat Ling Yun to avenge the geniuses of the Ouyang family. All the subordinates, upon hearing this, knelt down together, placing their hands on their chests and vowed in unison. We swear that today we will definitely flatten the Han family, restore dignity to the Ouyang family, and avenge our blood feud for the Ouyangs. If we violate this oath, may heaven and earth punish us. At the same time, inside Tian Shui's villa, Shi and Yen Yen were playing games, laughing and having fun. Haha, Tian Shui. How many years have passed, but your skills haven't improved at all. Don't laugh at someone else's pain, you haven't won yet. Suddenly, at this moment, Ling Yun appeared from behind, took her hands gently, and said softly, Tian Shui, you should play like this. Seeing this, Yen Yen immediately got angry, stepped back, and shouted loudly, Hey, Ling Yun, what do you want to do? You two are bullying me too much. I just want to play the game without watching you two flirt with each other. At this point, Yen Yen began to sulk, sat up, and said, I don't want to stay here for another minute. But when Yen Yen was about to leave, a helicopter suddenly landed from the sky, causing her to turn in surprise to look at Ling Yun. He had also stood up, moved outside, and continued, It's Chen Jinghao, should I go out and see what's going on? Ling Yun then reached outside, looked at Jinghao, and asked curiously, What's going on? The ban from Ouyang. All disciples in the clan have taken an oath at Ouyang Su Tang. Today, we swear to flatten the Han family and kill the sect master. They are on their way here now. I haven't even settled things with them, and they come to my door themselves. No problem, I'll wait for them here. Make me a pot of tea. This matter? Yes, Master Sect. Not long after, dozens of cars stopped in front of his house. The old Master Ouyang from inside began to open the door and step out with a serious expression, then looked at the gate and shouted inside, Ling Yun, today will be your day of death. He, sitting inside, heard this and instructed Jinghao beside him, the guests have arrived, you should step back and protect Tian Shui well. After giving his instructions, Ling Yun lifted the cup of tea from the table, took a sip, and praised, delicious tea. I didn't expect Chen Jinghao's tea-making skills to be quite good. At that moment, from outside, the group of Yang kicked the door open and rushed in. Ling Yun sat inside, looking at them with a calm expression and said, "You've arrived? Welcome to the Han family as guests. You brat. That cup of tea is the last thing you will drink in this life." One of the old man's subordinates then volunteered to step forward with a smug look. "Why waste words with it, family master?" But just as he finished speaking, he received a blow from Ling Yun and was sent flying. He was on this side, glancing at the previous man, and spoke in a deep voice, "It seems the visitor does not come with good intentions. If you are not a guest, then anyone who dares to cross this boundary will die." The old family master was truly astonished to witness the previous move of his, thinking to himself, "Indeed, he is the Six Meridian Sword God. This man has mastered the inheritance of the Sword God, he might be able to match the strength of the old ancestor." After thinking this, he opened his mouth wide and shouted, "No need to hold back, Heaven Demon, manifest yourself." But as soon as the subordinates stepped over the line, they all froze, rolled their eyes, let out a scream, and collapsed to the ground. "I had originally given your Yang family a way out. I'll say it again, cross this boundary, and you will die. You arrogant brat. Even if you have the inheritance of the Sword God, so what? Today, my elite from Yang will exert all their strength to flatten the Han family and take your head." The old man's subordinates then continued to rush in, shouting the word, "Kill." Ling Yun saw this and raised his arm, enveloped in a surge of spiritual energy, cursing, "Truly stubborn and ignorant." Another man in front of him, unaware of the gravity of the situation, spoke loudly. "You think you can stop us all by yourself? That's such a delusional dream, like a mantis trying to stop a cart." But just as he finished speaking, a surge of energy from Ling Yun flew in and struck through his third eye. The others were no exception, all losing their lives in an instant to that surge of energy. The family elder Yang, witnessing this scene, couldn't help but be astonished, his mouth agape as he exclaimed. "A mere snap of the fingers has killed so many. Impossible, how can the Six Meridian Sword God be so powerful?" Ling Yun, over here, leisurely lifted his teacup and replied in a deep voice. "I told you, don't cross the line. Leave here, and I will give you a way out. That brat can kill so many so easily, he must have exhausted something. What does he mean by giving a way out? He's definitely just putting on a show, so hurry up and charge at him." As the subordinates rushed forward recklessly, disregarding their lives, Ling Yun's energy surged towards them to grant their wish. But suddenly he sensed something and glanced in another direction with a surprised expression. Who is that? Hiding and lurking. His energy rays also shifted in that direction, sparing them a life. A dead body lying nearby began to emanate a stream of blood chi around it. Suddenly, an entire arm moved again. Other corpses similarly began to rise. A surviving subordinate, seeing this, turned pale with shock and exclaimed, "No, weren't they killed by sword chi piercing through their foreheads? The corpses, the dead are coming back to life." The old family master standing nearby was also taken aback, sweating and trembling, realizing, this is the Blood Shadow Great Technique, has the Blood Shadow sect made their move? At this moment, he revealed himself, his expression serious as he spoke, "With all the disciples dispatched, not even a single brat could be caught, I must step in personally. Yang Jin, you have truly embarrassed your ancestors." Old Yang Jin, seeing him, was once again astonished, his eyes wide as he stammered, "Elder, Blood Shadow Sect." The old man from the Blood Shadow Sect nearby dropped the corpse he was holding, thinking to himself, "This brat is too quick-witted, if I hadn't controlled those corpses in time to resist, that sword would have been enough to injure me." Old Yang Jin then began to approach, confidently asserting. "That brat uses such a powerful skill, he must be severely exhausted. I fear he will falter in the wind when his light fades." Hearing this, the Blood Shadow Sect also raised their hands to chant in response. "Then let me see what else this brat has up his sleeve." As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately controlled all the previously dead men to rise again using his blood cell secret method. The summoned beings were now howling with a shrill cry, their eyes filled with evil energy. Yang Jin, standing next to the elder, was somewhat astonished and spoke up. "I heard this is the Blood Shadow Sect's desperate secret method." "That's right, this secret method is enough to burn the blood essence of a martial artist. A martial artist can instantly enhance their strength exponentially. Now, the strength of those deceased disciples can be on par with mine. Ling Yun, let's see how you manage to withstand this. Ling Yun, sitting over here, continued to unleash the 6 meridian sword god towards the zombies. If you're already dead, then just lie still. As soon as he finished speaking, the 6 meridian sword gods pierced through all the approaching corpses. They all took a hit and collapsed to the ground, lying still and motionless. But then they got back up as if nothing had happened, starting to move towards Ling Yun. The old man from the Blood Shadow sect on this side saw this and laughed heartily, haha, naive. These zombies are immortal, unless you chop them into 100 pieces. But can you use a skill of that level? I advise you to obediently surrender to avoid torture before you die. Ling Yun, sitting opposite him, was also a bit surprised, frowning and thinking to himself, controlling the undead? No, it's blood control, isn't it? At this moment, the old man Yang Jin, with a sly expression, chimed in, so. Have you given up resisting? If these things hadn't happened, with you here, the Han family would have an unlimited future. It's a pity that you are too arrogant. Ling Yun, standing on this side, revealed a smile on his face, tossing the teacup in his hand towards the group of zombies, and said, I think you misunderstood something. As soon as the tea touched their bodies, it caused them to be cut in half, screaming in pain. Then, a flame suddenly erupted, incinerating everything into ashes in the air. Both old men standing on this side, witnessing the scene, were left speechless, exclaiming in astonishment, this cannot be. He is able to use a skill of such high level. Ling Yun, on this side, continued pouring tea into the cup, picked it up, and calmly replied, these things are just something I did casually. How could a poor martial arts family nurture such a terrifying monster? I once heard a rumor. Han Tian Shui discovered Ling Yun while traveling in the Great Wilderness Mountain Forest. Could it be that Ling Yun's true identity is a disciple of the Immortal sect in the Great Wilderness Mountain? The skill of this kid does not belong to any sect in the Great Wilderness Mountain. Are you trying to tell me that this son-in-law of the Han family is a disciple of the legendary sword god of the Great Wilderness Mountain? At this point, he suddenly paused, realizing something, and turned to look at Ling Yun. That's right, it's the tea. That kid's tea has a problem. That kind of tea must be some kind of rare treasure that can quickly restore a martial artist's energy. At this moment, Ling Yun, sitting across from them, began to speak again. What I say still holds value. Leaving here, I can grant you a path to survival. At the same time, another pair of feet stepped in from outside and spoke up, what's going on? It's been a long time since we caught that brat from the Han family, and now we need reinforcements. I don't know where this brat got his talents and treasures from, but he can quickly restore his energy and even skillfully use the 6 meridian sword god. However, it's time for this brat to die. The 6 meridian sword god. The small Han family can actually nurture an expert like this? It really makes me look at them differently. Unfortunately, after today, there will be no more Han family. The old man Yang Jin, standing beside them, opened his mouth wide and took a deep breath. Then, with all his might, he shouted, Ling Yun, kneel down and beg for mercy now, cut off your limbs, and I can let you die a little more peacefully. At this moment, Ling Yun also began to stand up and replied, is this your trump card? If you don't want to live, then I will grant you your wish. Talking big without shame. You arrogant brat, death is upon you, yet you still don't know your place. As soon as he finished speaking, 2 of Ouyang's men shot away in the blink of an eye. Then, an old man above Ling Yun threw a punch downwards. However, Ling Yun jumped up and dodged it. At that moment, 2 more old men, Yang Jin and a member of the Blood Shadow sect, descended from the sky. They shouted loudly, Ling Yun, die. Heaven Demon Fist, Blood Devouring Fist. Immediately, a huge explosion erupted at Ling Yun's position, with thick smoke rising. The old man from the Blood Shadow sect smiled amidst the smoke, smugly saying, what a pity, I thought we could force the inheritance of the 6 meridian sword god from this brat's hands. But as soon as he said this, the expression on his face changed drastically, his eyes widened, and he was left speechless. Right before him stood Ling Yun, still standing there with both hands firmly gripping the fists of the 2 old men. Ling Yun continued, want to learn? It's a pity I gave you a chance to live, but you didn't choose wisely. At this moment, both old men were sweating profusely and panicking, sharing the same thought, how could he block our combined attack so easily? Ling Yun then squeezed their fists tightly, producing crackling sounds. Immediately after, two more figures appeared from behind, kicking their legs up and shouting loudly, "The little brat with a runny nose is still too careless, huh?" But right after that, he simply raised his arms and easily pushed them back. The old man from the Blood Shadow sect witnessed this scene, feeling another wave of shock, thinking to himself, is this kid a monster or what? At this point, he turned his gaze to a broken teacup nearby. This is his tea. When he picked it up and looked at it, the old man was even more astonished, unable to believe his eyes. Impossible, this is just ordinary tea. So that means this Ling Yun really has terrifying energy. Could it be that he is truly a disciple of the Great Wilderness Mountain sect? At the same time, the old man Yang Jin in front of him was fearfully looking at Ling Yun, shouting, You can't kill me. Old ancestor of the Ouyang family has entered the Immortal map. Even if you are a disciple of the Great Wilderness Mountain sect, you can't fight against it. Upon hearing this, Ling Yun turned his face in another direction, puzzled. Ouyang old ancestor. Are you talking about him? At that moment, a gigantic arm suddenly appeared from the sky, punching straight down between the two of them. All the members of the Ouyang clan around were astonished and stammered, this is. The old man Yang Jin over here also began to look towards Ling Yun. He then saw a figure standing high on the roof. Upon closer inspection, he realized it was Ouyang Tian Ma, the ancestor of the Ouyang clan. The old man from the Blood Shadow sect and his companions also became excited and called out, Ouyang brother, you have arrived. Ancestor, this arrogant and tyrannical brat has ruthlessly killed countless disciples of our Ouyang clan. We cannot coexist with the Ouyang clan, please take revenge for the fallen disciples. Tian Ma then said nothing and rushed down, waving his hand to unleash a surge of blood qi. His blood qi transformed into a gigantic hand that rushed straight towards Ling Yun. He, however, was not to be outdone. With just a wave of his hand, he easily neutralized the old man's attack. Tian Ma then landed in front of him and praised, to easily withstand an attack from me, this young man possesses remarkable strength. I have never heard news of a disciple from the Great Wilderness Mountain emerging. Who are you, after all? Ling Yun stood facing him, wearing a smug smile, brushing the dust off his clothes, and replied, I am someone you have no right to know. You arrogant brat. The old ancestor has already stepped into the Immortal map. If you don't kneel down and beg for mercy, then you should know that we will show you what it means to live worse than dead. Tian Ma then unleashed his power and continued, fine, if you refuse to speak, then I will kill you, and your sect won't be able to trouble me. The subordinates of the old man beside him were also overwhelmed by that aura, quickly saying, Oh young brother, how long has it been since we last met? Your cultivation has increased so much. I wonder which sect this brat belongs to. It's a pity he's creating his own demise and cannot survive. At this moment, Tian Ma swung his hand and unleashed a blood demon strike, sending a blood qi arm towards Ling Yun. He stood opposite and also unleashed his own force, smugly saying, let me remind you a little. Both old men witnessing this scene were left agape in astonishment, exclaiming in unison, how can he easily withstand a full-force strike from me? This cannot be happening. 6 Meridian Sword God. It's not about defending, but about severing my martial arts. Ling Yun stood in front of him and continued, you have crossed the line. Tian Ma then began to rise, smiling, and continued, all right, it seems that after more than 5 years without making a move, you have all forgotten. As he spoke, he unleashed a blood dragon from within his body. Why am I called Ouyang Tian Ma, the mortal map? The Blood Shadow sect member on this side realized and stammered in shock. See, could it be that this is the evil dragon essence that slaughtered the Dragon Kingdom 600 years ago, which was then killed by the Sword God of Great Wilderness Mountain? I never expected it to be found by Ouyang Tian Ma and integrated into his body. Haha, Ling Yun, don't even think about begging for mercy. This time, I'm afraid there won't even be a corpse left of you. Let me see how you withstand the power of the evil dragon from the old ancestor. One of the Ouyang members began to panic and run away, saying, but the strength of Ouyang brother, using the power of the evil dragon might be a bit forced, this isn't good. Tian Ma then turned to Yang Jin and said, Jin Air. If you want to kill Ling Yun for revenge, then I will give you a chance. Immediately, the old man's arm was enveloped by a stream of evil energy and gradually absorbed. What is this? Old ancestor, what are you doing? Offer your body, merge as one with me, and then together we will kill Ling Yun. Isn't that your own way of taking revenge? Ha ha ha. Upon hearing this, Yang Jin's face turned pale, exclaiming, No, no, old ancestor. The other Ouyang members witnessing this immediately unleashed a wave of spiritual energy towards him, shouting, Ouyang Tian Ma, you have gone mad. Hey, don't think that I don't know your intentions, using the Ouyang family to benefit yourselves. No way. Having said that, the old man continued to absorb all those present, laughing loudly, Haha, you want this girl? Then merge with me. The people being absorbed could only scream, uttering their last words, Ouyang Tian Ma, you dare. At this moment, the evil dragon inside the old man's body grew larger, opening its mouth wide and roaring. Little brat, I will chop your body into 100 pieces and feed it to the dogs. I will also burn your soul for 100 years to relieve the hatred in my heart. At the same time, a member of the Blood Shadow sect sitting on a nearby rooftop looked down and thought to himself, Ouyang Tian Ma wants to forcibly use the evil dragon blood essence, it seems he will need a large amount of blood chi. Relying solely on himself won't be enough. Fortunately, I managed to escape quickly. With this move, the son-in-law of the Han family is likely in serious trouble. But Ouyang Tian Ma will damage his primordial energy. The mantis stalks the cicada, while the sparrow is poised to strike. Returning to Ling Yun's side, he looked up at the evil dragon blood essence in front of him, somewhat surprised, pondering something. Tian Ma across from him, seeing this, smugly spoke up, What? Are you scared, silly? That's right, this evil dragon blood essence should be credited to the sword god of the great wilderness mountain. If he hadn't killed the evil dragon, I wouldn't have been able to obtain such magical talent. You have inherited from him, so I am not someone who doesn't recognize gratitude. Quickly hand over the inheritance of the sword god of the great wilderness mountain. I don't believe that you, little brat, only have the inheritance of the 6 meridian sword god. Hand over all the inheritance, and I will let you die a little easier. I kindly advised you, why do you keep choosing the path of death? You have crossed the line again. The old man ignored Ling Yun's reminders and began to raise his hand in response. Very well, if you refuse to drink the celebratory wine and want to drink the punishment wine instead, then after you taste my methods, you will naturally hand it over to me yourself. At this moment, Ling Yun also raised his arm high, closed his eyes, and continued. If you desire the inheritance of the great wilderness mountain sword god, then I will grant your wish. Are you only willing to concede now? It's too late. Don't worry, I will spare your life so you can fully experience my methods before sending you on your way. But as soon as he finished speaking, he was astonished to see Ling Yun summoning a precious sword descending from the sky. What is this? What trick is this kid using? Why can't I move? No, this is not that kid's trick, it's my own body. The evil dragon blood essence is afraid. Another old man from the Ouyang family also noticed this and was a bit surprised, asking. Why can't Ouyang Tian Ma move anymore? What is that? At this point, the old man suddenly jolted, shocked to realize. This is the sword that the sword god of the great wilderness mountain used to kill the evil dragon 600 years ago. That kid is really the disciple of the sword god. The old man Tian Ma also recognized it and gasped. Impossible, impossible. Immediately after, Ling Yun's sword descended from the sky, piercing through the evil dragon along with Ouyang Tian Ma, sending both to meet their ancestors. Ling Yun then turned around, looking at the old man from the Blood Shadow sect standing on the rooftop, smiled, and spoke. You've been watching for a long time, you must have seen enough by now, right? Upon hearing this, the old man stood up abruptly, secretly thinking. No, it can't be. From such a distance, he was able to detect me. At this moment, Ling Yun also waved his hand, sending a burst of energy towards the old man. The old man quickly turned and dashed away. From this distance, he won't be able to catch up with me. I need to get out of here quickly. But just as he finished speaking, he was struck by a fatal blow from Ling Yun through his heart, letting out a painful cry. Then, he collapsed onto the rooftop, struggling to say his last 4 words. I am not reconciled.